Welcome back, everybody. We are here into the final series of the evening for Elite League. It is going to be Team Spirit, which, have struggled a little bit, but they did come off of a very good win a moment ago, going up against Entity, the strongest looking team from the Swiss stage. So definitely excited to see how these two teams are going to go head to head.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Entity pretty warmed up after that Swiss stage. I guess they had a little bit of a break. They qualified winning 3-0, so they had a 2-day break, but I'm sure they were screaming. What do you... I'm trying to decide what we're going to see in this game, man. I hope we see the Monkey King support, but I feel like it's just going to be taken away. And then we're back to regular Dota, I guess.
Boo.
Boo.
Let them have it. No, I think you're right. It's very unlikely we're going to see the Monkey King draft come out from Entity. You either ban the Monkey King or you ban the Centaur, right? Those are the one of the ways of dealing with it, because I think I've only really seen them run it with the Centaur.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you ban the Monkey King, they still might pick the Centaur. So I'm curious if that's what's going to happen for DM, but it's typically been his Brewmaster is his go-to hero when the Monkey King's not available.
It's gone.
And big surprise, it's banned. It was literally first banned on the list. They're like, nope, not dealing with that. So now they're probably debating, do we ban his Brewmaster, which I was about to follow up, which is typically followed up with the Bat Rider, but they will at least ban out the Bat Rider. So we'll see what Team Spirit want to do. I think they've done their homework. I mean, these are all really good bans against Entity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've always enjoyed Spirit's drafting. I feel like they do come very prepared into their series. So, like you said, I mean, they took away some of the scariest stuff that Entity likes to play with. That doesn't mean Entity's out of it, of course. They're just gonna have to bring in, a more normal strat. Oh, they're gonna grab the Centaur for themselves. So they're really trying to push Entity into some new stuff. Like you said, there is the Brewmaster. I don't know if you really need to pick that as response to a Centaur, though. So I feel like you could grab something else, but Spirit might then ban out the Brewmaster in their second phase bans and force Entity to pick something else for DM, which he can play other stuff, but they have primarily focused on the Centaur and the Brewmaster throughout a lot of their series.
Yeah. I think right here you might actually hide it and kind of force Team Spirit to ban, because you also don't want to play the Centaur into the Mars.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe your next two bans are Brewmaster Mars if Entity don't pick DM's hero here, and that feels pretty bad going into phase 2. Like, that is not what you want to have to ban.
Timber's in the pool.
That's true. I was like, there's a lot of options. You could just pick something like a Crystal Maiden and just be happy with it. Okay, they go for Katomi's Bane. This is a staple for Entity. They were like probably the only team for a while running this, and we're starting to see other teams pick it up. And
actually, both their supports really like Bane, so it's also like a flex pick for them. The position for Bane is actually kind of maybe like the weird part that Katomi brings. He likes some of these stranger picks, but yeah, they like the Bane.
I will be curious to see if they don't ban the Mars. You get rid of Lifestealer, the classic lane counter to the Centaur. If you don't ban Brewmaster or Mars here, you're giving DM kind of the pick of the litter in terms of what he wants to play.
I don't think they'll ban the Mars. I think Mars has been
seen it.
Yeah, he's been declining in popularity. I don't know if, like, in officials, his win rate has not been great this tournament. I think it's like 30-something%. And then I don't know what's been happening in scrims, but I wonder if teams have sort of figured it out and it just is not feeling very good right now. But for the last couple of days, at least, I don't think there's been very much Mars prioritization at all.
Interesting. They actually get rid of the Sven as well. I'd be very okay if Entity just grabbed the Razor as their next pick. It doesn't feel amazing to play against when like the Stampede comes out, but late game the hero is totally fine, like into Centaur, because he's just actually hasted at all times. But if you want to run it in the safe lane, it's fantastic. You can run it mid as well, so I think they could look for it. They get rid of the Morphling. It's starting to look like a Razor might be coming out. We'll see, but you also could go for something like a Gyrocopter here and which we see picked up a ton. And like you said, it could put the Bane into the 4 position. And then you have the possibility of the 5 gyro into the Centaur lane, which has looked great.
I think you need to consider as well that I think Shadow Demon and Rubik look really good for Spirit. Not necessarily both, but one of them plus another. Very good to either save whoever's being Fiend's gripped or just steal it and then have your own. So you got to be careful with whoever you pick in carry, like especially if you're thinking about that potential Shadow Demon pick on Team Spirit. It combos really well with Centaur, so it would be like good in the lane and then good in the game as a whole.
All right. Running through a lot of reserve time. It's interesting because there's so many bans that are kind of specific to the teams in this one. Obviously, Chen removed because Team Spirit love running the Chen. They get rid of the Tiny and then the Magnus, right? These are super unusual bans, and they will just go for the Brewmaster for DM. It's not that surprising. Do you go Shadow Demon? Can you play Shadow Demon into a Brewmaster?
It is a bit more annoying, but you don't have to be in the same lane, so you can pick like a different 5 into it. I think Disruptor's still in here, right? Yeah, I think Disruptor looks pretty good versus these 2 heroes potentially. If they want to go for that.
I like that a lot.
You could go double support pick like of your pick, like Disruptor, and then like Shadow Demon or Rubik could be good, or maybe they want someone more active. I mean, that could also potentially be okay.
Wow, they just picked the straight up lane counter to the Brewmaster. So Luna, it's not as strong as the Weaver that we've seen as the direct lane counter to the Brewmaster, but still she's quite good.
I mean, I kind of like Shadow Demon with this. I'd be shocked if they don't pick a support here. Just reveal all 3 cores right away. I feel like Shadow Demon, good for the reasons we talked about, good with Luna.
You also can't give it to Entity. You could just run 4 Shadow Demon. It works great into the Brewmaster lane. You hit him with Cinder Brew, throw a single Shadow Poison and it procs, and then you have the matchup into Luna late game and Centaur. There's no way you don't pick the Shadow Demon, right? I mean, there is a way, but I'd have to imagine it's going to make your game difficult if Entity want to go back for it.
I imagine they're at least discussing it right now.
Man, Centaur Luna as the first 2 is definitely interesting. Okay, Clockwork, that'll be your 5 position.
Now, Clockwork's pretty good
Great
too.
Against Brew.
Yeah, he's good against Brewmaster, and he's also annoying for Bane. Hookshot, pretty long distance. Rocket Flare to like scout out the Bane, get over there. Even if it's not you, you could potentially have 2 more picks coming up here to help you with that. Probably is just with the Luna. That's a pretty strong lane right there. Luna plus Clockwork versus Brewmaster, maybe Bane. We do see them flex it. I think you want a different hero versus Clockwork.
You definitely don't want the Bane in a Clockwork, right? I would be fine with Shadow Demon, but
Io then?
It's a weird looking Shadow Demon. Yeah, you're right. Marcy Io. They're gonna go back for it. So this was what Gaming Gladiators did, right? Carry Marcy with an Io. It's pretty cool. It's a lot of damage, but this hero definitely needs some specific farming items.
I think this is, well, I don't know who really started it, like what happened in scrims, but I think this is something Liquid has been doing in the past a bit with, like, they've been playing Marcy carry when others have not as much. Not like other teams kind of experiment with it too, but this combo does work out quite well. The Marcy can buff up the Io, and then they're like both attacking, both lifestealing in the lane. Something Centaur has been weak to is like physical damage in the lane, which is why heroes like Lifestealer and Sven can be pretty good because you just hit hard against that low armor hero. So then Marcy and Io, they get a lot of damage between the two, and then the attack speed burst from the Io with the overcharge, also very strong. I think this Disruptor pick is now even better than it was before. Now that you see the relocate coming in, I think that's actually such a good pick. probably Disruptor 4. I don't actually
4,
like both
yeah.
could work, but I think giving him some farm priority would be really nice because if you know they're coming in, you just like drop the Ag Static Storm under the relocate, and there's just no play. Or like Brewmaster might have to build BKB to make sure he can get his ult off. But if you hit him with a Static Storm Ags first, right, then there's nothing. So this looks like an awesome Disruptor game.
It really does. I think that was going to be it was already strong, and now, like you pointed out, even stronger. I loved the idea of it earlier on. They go back for it. I think as a 4 position, it makes the most sense here with the Centaur lane. So might as well.
I think
bans, though. They actually go ahead and ban out the mid Earth Spirit, which we saw no one pick earlier, and just annihilated his opponent, right?
Yeah, it's pretty surprising, but I think it does fit what Entity needs, which is you need initiation, and specifically, you need someone who can jump the back line, especially this Disruptor, which is what Earth Spirit mid can do. Get a quick BKB, and like with your invulnerability and roll, which has been like nerfed a little bit, the like startup time, but like once you're going, still pretty good. And just try to find this Disruptor and take him out of the fight so that everyone else can do stuff.
I like the Puck Lesh bans. Very good tempo heroes that would also help shut down the IO Marcy. Or at least like the tether plays, right? Like if they both go in, you're playing into either Coil or you're playing into Lesh. So good stuff.
Yeah,
Team
and with the
next
heroes,
ban.
yeah, with the heroes they currently have, I do think Spirit can choose to play pretty quickly if they want. Depends on what they grab for this mid hero, which I don't know, like Dragon Knight could work. Pango's still in. Laurel plays a good Pango. Oh, hell yeah. Sniper.
So I was just thinking, it's like you said Dragon Knight. I'm like, if they go Dragon Knight, you could respond with either Sniper or Arc Warden for Entity, and instead Team Spirit actually grabbed Sniper. So very cool pick. They actually first picked a Sniper the other day. Was it today, actually? When did they do this? They literally overall first picked a Sniper. I don't know when this was. I think it was literally against Falcons, which is hilarious. And they go back for Dragon Knight. So interesting pick for no one. I feel like this lane is not easy at all, but he is just gonna take the Dragon Knight into the mid Sniper and see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm curious about it. I mean, I guess once you get your points in the passive, it does help out. And the early damage, you have like an advantage there. Maybe you can get some denies in before Sniper really ramps up. I guess you can get a blink on the Dragon Knight to still initiate. He's not quite the backline killer I was thinking of, so maybe we'll see a different approach from Entity. There were some smiles to start it off, so...
Do you see Watson's cosmetics for Marcy? He has like the bugged cosmetic where she has like the placeholder, like black shirt on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some anime outfit
so
right here.
Annoying. God. Well, this should be a fun series. I love that we've got some, you know, a little bit new heroes to play around. That being said, it's like DM, Brewmaster, Fishman on Bane. Like these are very comfort hero picks for Entity, but the Marcy IO will be fun to watch. That should be interesting.
Though I saw Kataomi is playing the IO. I wonder if they're going to lane swap or if it's going to be IO with the Brewmaster to start. Later on, I do think IO will pair up with the Marcy. It's just like the combo we've been seeing, but maybe for the lane they think this will work out better. Does look like currently IO's with the Marcy. So maybe it is just a lane swap.
It's like Fishman's the Bane player for the most part. Okay. We'll have to see. As we got, unfortunately, a little pause here to kick things off. But for those of you who are just tuning in, it is the final series of the day, a best of 2 between Entity and Team Spirit here. Both teams having a pretty. I mean, Spirit struggled a little bit early on, but just picked up the most recent win, which is fantastic for them. And Entity, I think now that I look at it, they haven't lost a single game Didn't they 2-0 everyone in the Swiss stage? Yeah, they did. Entity's actually undefeated in the tournament. They haven't lost even a single game.
Pretty exciting. That's a lot of pressure.
Cool.
All right, coming up here, I saw Clockwork started with the Windlace. This is a pretty tough lane for the Centaur, so I wouldn't be surprised if they just do like some creep dragging like we saw in the last series. Io has an Observer, so probably going to be using to scout out the First Blood, but also the potential creep dragging, and also the rotations over to mid, because Dragon Knight is a hero who could potentially be ganked, and you trap him up in cogs, and then there's like shrapnel headshots, all that stuff coming in. So if it's just left in a 1v1, I think Dragon Knight at least won't die, although Sniper will be pretty annoying. Just all the ho-ho, ha-ha headshots coming in, but he won't die unless the ganks come in.
Yeah, that's what I would imagine is the case.
Seconds to battle.
I will have to keep my eyes on the mid lane. I do feel like it's not going to go great for the Dragon Knight. At least for the first like 4 to 5 levels, I have to imagine it's going to be rough. The only thing he does have going for him is a massive damage advantage, right? Dragon Knight has like 15 more damage than a Sniper. So if he can get a bunch of denies in the first wave, it might be good. We'll see how it goes. We're going to potentially see a clash here at the runes. No one, definitely not going to contest bottom. The top rune, they will give away as well. So ends up being 3 runes to Spirit here.
A good start for them. Yeah, I mean, they knew it was Sniper mid, and they still picked Dragon Knight, so I'm looking forward to see what he can get done. Like, what is his role in the game? Because it doesn't seem to be, like, dominate the lane. Otherwise, I'm sure there's better picks. So you see some cool Clockwork Cogs in the bottom lane by Mira. They're just trying to dodge this matchup. It gets the creep wave under the tower right away. And then he'll probably do some creep dragging on the second creep wave as well.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. I mean, Watson actually getting every single one of these CS and a deny, so yes, you will get the creep equilibrium where you want, but that is quite nice. Laurel actually goes for Shrapnel level 1, which not great for like against the DK, because he will just deny in your face.
I'm very curious about this mid matchup. It's not the way. It's not what we were thinking.
Maybe because of the Breathe Fire, he knows he's gonna have like 40 damage and won't be able to last it anyway. So the Shrapnel maybe just doing a little bit more damage right now, just to the Dragon Knight. But yeah, pretty good start for the DK. Where are we at on this top lane? We've got DM and Fishman. They do a decent chunk of damage here with the Cinderbrew, but Thunderstrike is such a good ability to trade with.
Yeah, it's really good nowadays. Though not as good when it's like the Cinderbrew spam in the early game, which is coming in with if Miposhka steps up a little too far.
Yeah. Forced to pop the Fairy Fire there on the Bane. He actually has got almost no mana left on this Bane, so we'll salve up at the moment. Does have a Blood Grenade to play with at least, so maybe he could use that to find a kill. The 3-minute Lotus will play a pretty big role in this top lane, I think.
Regardless how it goes, you guys haven't seen DM play Brewmaster recently. He's in trouble right now, actually. Glimpse back. Pretty low. I think one more Lucian beam.
First blood.
My fleet striders
That's huge.
Yeah, that's good for them.
So that 3-minute Lotus now, I don't think you can get on Fishman. Well, yeah, you have 8 magic stick charges. You can just Lucent beam him. Yeah, that's really rough, because you might have been able to find a kill with that Lotus, but now Yatoro's full HP, almost doing very healthy on mana, and has the Lotus to give on over to Miposhka now. So they are fully control of this lane. Honestly, mid lane looking good for the Dragon Knights. 17-8 to the 13-3. I feel like you don't have damage that's going to stick onto the DK anymore, and so Laurel just needs to kind of catch back up and farm, but the matchup a little bit different than what I would have expected. This is cool.
Maybe it's that the headshot just doesn't do enough into the double points in the passive. What Dragon Knight's not good at is dealing with a lot of creeps. Like, his initial wave clear is not very good, so maybe by maxing Shrapnel, you can keep shoving in lanes and do stacks, and you can prevent Dragon Knight from ever even getting close to your tower, which is really what he wants to do at the start, just whittle down that tower.
Fishman top lane. Nice play. They actually toggle the Nightmare over so that Miposhka can get the glimpse and then toggle it right back for Yatoro to finish the kill. Very good stuff there. All right, top lane's looking great for the side of Spirit. They're going to get another pull as well. So DM definitely going to be pretty far behind on this Brewmaster.
Mira getting pretty low. He's going to use Cogs to save his life.
Yeah. I mean, the Blood Grenade damage gets completely absorbed. Otherwise, yeah, he probably dies there.
Yeah, and the Cogs pushed it off the high ground too, so Io couldn't get any attacks in. Good on Io for chasing it down, but they still get some creeps over. Collapse trying to connect them back in. Both safe laners having a really nice time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I feel... Well, I don't know. I haven't gotten to watch too much Marcy carry, so we're gonna have to learn a little bit here and get a feel for it. But I do think Luna will farm faster with a good start. Fishman in trouble here with the clockwork rotation. Glimpse back. Will live for a little bit, but can they give the kill over to Yatoro? Nice. Ooh, Yatoro with a 201 start. That is scary for you.
Yeah, combine that with the fact that he's top CS. Like, this Luna will be able to just be left alone to kind of do whatever she wants. A lot of times Lunas might get pushed out and go jungle, but you are 2 full levels in front of the Brewmaster. He is not even level 4. You are almost level 6.
Yeah, and because the lane's going so well, Disruptor's free to start making some early stacks for you. Maybe it'll go to the Sniper. Not sure yet, but either way, someone's going to have a good time. Yeah, it looks like it's just a farming plan for him.
I mean, yes, the Sniper was struggling on CS earlier, but has recovered. Now with this max shrapnel, he just clears the waves super easily. If the DK tries to come up for denies, you just pop him with headshots over and over. So the matchup still ended up kind of working out all right here for the Sniper. He's not crushing his lane by any means, but it's okay. Dispose, top or bottom lane here looking for Mira, and that should be a kill. Goes the way of Watson, so nicely done. 3 points in that sidekick now, doing some serious work.
Glimpse top, gonna grab DM as well, and now Sniper is gonna get a kill. Can't kill the Dragon Knight, but level 4 Brewmaster will be easy.
Yeah, dude, this Brewmaster has no game. Does he get the Wisdom Rune XP? He didn't. I wasn't sure. I was like, he might be low enough level with Katomi having a good game bottom, but no. It actually just barely goes to the IO. But yeah, lanes are really rough at the moment. It's only a 1k gold lead for Spirit, but the experience is going to start to add up. Mid lane, no one. Going to try and just put some pressure on the tower. And they might just give this up, actually. This is a really nice movement from the DK. Just pushing in, guaranteeing this early tower.
I thought this is why Laurel max shrapnel, actually, is to like shove in the waves to prevent that from happening. But apparently I literally know nothing about this mid matchup. And Dragon Knight just takes the early tower anyways.
That's such a weird one.
I am learning here.
Does connect. They're looking to just chase him down with Watson, dispose on back, and of course with the overcharge, they get themselves another kill.
All right, so Watson is starting to look pretty scary, and with both safe laners having a good time, Luna will continue to farm really quickly, and that's pretty scary. But Watson will hit a timing where he is so dangerous with the extra attack speed from the IO. He will be able to burst kill pretty much anyone he can get to, which this game, there is the Stampede to keep them away, and that might be a bit of a saving grace. We'll have to see how it plays out exactly. But, for example, if someone gets Fiend's gripped and Watson is next to them, they're just dead. There's no saving that. They are dead.
Oh, yeah. I am excited to see how this Marcy is going to play out. Like, she has to go for an early Orb of Corrosion as well, so it's very difficult to get away from these heroes. There's going to be the Unleashed Stampede comes out. Nightmare from Fishman, perfectly timed. The Dispose is going to be enough to help secure it, but the TPs are coming through. Laurel, level 8 on this Sniper, will make quick work of Katomi. Is now looking for Fishman as well. Maposhka, dude, he dodges it out perfectly. Very quick moves from this Bane. That bonus night vision, actually, right? He does have a little bit of bonus night vision on Bane, doesn't he?
Maybe 400 extra. Sniper does too a bit, but not enough to see where Fishman ran off to. I thought they would know when he picked up the Lotus, but maybe just not noticing that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's pretty good, I think, from Entity. That being said, they still brought the Brewmaster down here, and he's not really getting this first brew split to any good use. They are going to commit to the bottom tower now that no one is here on the Dragon Knight, and so taking some objectives, keeping them kind of even on the net worth, that's fantastic.
I wonder if we'll still see DM. He usually plays a very greedy Brewmaster. Things like Radiance, Boots of Travels, Octarines, that kind of stuff. But after a really rough start, maybe he'll get a little bit more active. He's still going for the Radiance, but I mean, Radiance is just a good item anyway, so it's like not that crazy. But if he'll still play on his own, just trying to scale up, I mean, late game Brewmaster is really good. I kind of feel like with the rest of his team having a pretty good start, maybe he could look to join with slightly different itemization.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't think he will. I just talked it up, but
I think he is also going to go like Radiance.
He's pretty consistent with the way he plays, yeah.
We'll see how quick no one can get to this Blink Dagger. He's about 160 gold away, which could potentially surprise Spirit, catch them off guard. There is, of course, the follow-up Stampede from Collapse, which will make it still very difficult to secure kills, but potentially with the follow-up of, like, Fiend's Grip, as Bane is getting a little bit of XP in mid lane, he's so close to hitting that level 6.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have Stampede, you'll die to the Blink Stun, because you'll relocate in the Marcy, and you'll just wrap up the kill from there. Even with Stampede, if Bane is part of the play, he will just Nightmare or Fiend Grip till Stampede is over, and then you will kill the target. So this Blink, now freshly delivered.
That's fast.
Do you have a smoke? Looks like, yeah, I wonder what they're waiting for. Is relocate up? They got everything.
You would love
smoke
to
now
find...
delivered.
Okay, there it is. I was like, you would love to find the Sniper, right? This is the dream hero if you can get him, but
they see
Spirit's
him
actually
peeping.
positioned really well behind him. They've got Mira nearby and Disruptor as well. There's going to be the Blink, the Dragon Tail. In comes the reload, but there it is. You talked about it in the draft. The perfect Static Storm. They still will be able to bring down that Sniper, but it's a costly one as Watson will fall Stampede now to chase. And boy, oh boy, they're going to get more for their troubles. Bane to fall. And Utora will go right back to the top lane.
Yeah, they thought Sniper was on his own, or maybe just like one support there, but they were not ready for the whole team to be so fast about that.
Yeah, that Kinetic Field, Static Storm, trapping all three was just perfect. I mean, technically no one gets like bumped out, right, from Cogs, but still, it just is exactly what you want against the IO. Man, that's huge.
Dire are scanning.
I wonder how ready Team Spirit was for that. Like, I think he'll have Blink soon. Let's stay near Sniper. Curious about
100%.
that. But they were definitely ready to rotate. That was such a fast rotation from them. Yeah. Marcy and I are going to come to the twin gate.
Are scanning.
They
Find
do
a
have
ward.
Dragon Form in 20
Dire's top
seconds.
tower is under attack.
They never used Brewmaster ult because that fight went kind of poorly for them, so they still have it. It looks like they're trying to play around it. It's not quite at Radiance yet, so I don't imagine they'll look for like a full 5-on-5 strictly. Maybe just trying to take this
Radiant's
tower,
middle
open
tower
up
is
the
under
map.
attack.
They're looking mid. Fishman comes in with a Nightmare onto the Luna, but the team is... Oh, the hook shot!
off!
Barely off the mark from Mira. They're going to go ahead and immediately drop the Static Storm as 3 heroes TP right into it. The Glimpse is going to send back 1, and now the Brew Split finally coming out here from DM. You've lost the Luna. He needs to get a Cyclone. He finds the Centaur, still chasing for this Clockwork, but instead will turn around for Collapse. Fiend's Grip is up in 3 seconds. Fishman, will he find his opening? Great pullback here from the Void. And Collapse, he's going to go down. Blink canceled for the moment, but they're still chasing. Mira hiding in the trees, but unfortunately for him, he is under a ward. Dude, that was so close. Watson gets sent back to the top lane, right? And then they still manage to take a good fight.
Yeah, I thought that the Static Storm into Clockwork Cogs looked very good, but Luna being on the front had no... Like, she died too quickly, so she couldn't get too many glaive attacks in. And then Sniper right now, he's working on an Ags, but what it means is his current build just does not do that much damage to actually finish off that kill there. Or that potential triple kill even.
The other thing, too, is those TPs were really long, and he dropped the Static Storm like a full second and a half before those TPs finished, so it took a moment. If that extra duration was there, maybe they killed a Brewmaster before the split. It's hard to say. But yeah, it was a really good response there from Entity. Could have gone either way. It was very, very close fight.
Yeah. He didn't see the teleport, because there were some teleports in the trees, so he didn't know the long one, so he had to place it early to be safe. But you're right, like that extra second makes a difference. And it's why Entity TP'd someone into the trees to begin with, to kind of hide who was coming in what order.
How close are we to BKBs? Because that is going to be a massive pickup for the side of Entity. No one will have his, I'm guessing, Mage Slayer, right? Oh, it actually just goes straight Yasha after his Sage's Mask, so he's not going for that Oblivion Staff item. Fishman gets a Nightmare here, finding the Disruptor, and with the Brewmaster nearby, this should be a pretty easy kill. Even a Blood Grenade for safe measure, but a little unnecessary. Dude, 4 points Nightmare. Like, how often do you see a Nightmare Max Bane?
He's recognizing he just needs to provide the utility of Nightmare, which is either the Nightmare save, so lower cooldown's good. Find someone, Nightmare them, that brings in the relocate, that's like another option. Make sure to have Nightmare for stampedes, or depending like how it breaks out, maybe you just take Sniper out of the fight for like that time, right? Take Clockwork out of the fight. Doesn't really need to contribute damage, doesn't really need to use Enfeeble too much. No one maybe in a bit of trouble here. Oh, definitely in trouble.
Yeah, he happened to be right under a sentry, as he thought he was fine. Like, his sentry's there, but it's just barely off.
Radiant's middle tower
They
is
happen to
under
find
attack.
the DK mid, so
Radiant structures are fortified.
good grab. And they actually smoke up immediately. They want to keep this pressure going.
I think an observer
sense.
saw them.
I think he did too, yeah, the high ground one.
Yeah, so they're still
I'm
moving
surprised.
down here, but looks like everyone is
Radiant's middle
splitting
tower
off.
has been
It should let
denied.
them pick up this tier 1 tower, unless they want to go all the way through the Twin Gate.
Wrap around, boys. We're going on a trip. Quick 10-minute adventure.
If they find his
TP
Brewmaster,
in.
it's actually such a good kill.
DM just gets the TP. He has a Radiance coming. He's like, I'm going back to base. My Radiance is done. I need to reset. That was just such unfortunate timing for Spirit. If they get him like 20 seconds earlier, he'd be greeting out for that Radiance.
Yeah. Well, good observer from Entity, saving them from that trouble. Spirit might suspect it, recognizing they traveled the world and didn't get anyone. Probably have a gut feeling that maybe we were spotted smoking up, guys.
Marcy with the armlet on the way to the BKB. Is getting close, so we'll see
Radiant's bottom tower
if they
is
can make
under
something
attack.
happen with that. Fisherman will get a sentry, but there is a good deep ward here. This is one of my favorite ones. This little like pylon laid deeper in the lane that like doesn't typically get seen. That's a great sentry spot, or that's a great ward spot.
Yeah, I like this one a lot.
Illusion.
All right, let's do some item checks here for the side of Team Spirit. We haven't really been keeping up with Utaro a little bit. He is top of the net worth by a pretty solid margin now, so Manta, Mask of Madness, of course, done on his way to his own BKB.
I will say Centaur, we thought he was having an okay time at the start with the creep dragging, but seems to be dropping off a little bit here. I guess more farm priority going towards the Sniper Luna. A little bit of a greedy duo there, so he's on the short end of the stick, has the blink, but hasn't yet found like some massive fight with it. Well,
Oh, really nice find bottom here. Fishman was smoked up, trying to find Mira, and instead, healed up from Katomi, and the Nightmare's gonna buy him some space, but the pullback here from Maposhka, trapping him inside the kinetic field, trying to TP, but Yatoro's got him. The follow-up from Collapse. Grab themselves a kill. I mean, this was an immediate TP from Laurel. He gets the Axe, comes bottom, and they just smoked. Unfortunately, the Luna Illusions scouts him with that bonus night vision.
that should allow them to now finish up this tier 1 finally.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
They have this high ground ward still. They see Maposhka. DK, will he go? He's thinking about it.
They're worried. They don't see enough other heroes.
It's like they don't know, do they? Instead, no one's gonna walk right into Mira and have to blink to safety.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So they're gonna think a ward behind them. Dude, how is this high ground ward not dewarded on Spirit? They've got a sentry.
The bell curve. Cliff wards
they
are-
have kinetic field and flare, and they have not just
Radiant's
guessed.
bottom tower is under attack.
And it expires. That was a super value ward. Alright, smoke up from Entity. They got the PKBs done on Watson, and of course, no one with the completed Manta style. No Dragon form, but still. Do they see the Centaur mid? They do. They could go for the Centaur. They get a Nightmare on the backside as well onto the Disruptor, so they know he's not in the fight, but they find a better target. It's Laurel. Can they finish the job, though? The Stampede doing a lot of work here. Reload from Katomi is not going to connect, and he's just going to jump into the trees. The Dragon Knight scouts him, though. And during that whole thing, Fishman solos the Disruptor.
Nice attempt to stomp by Collapse. Thought Sniper was being chased. It does the stomp. Blinks out to get himself away. But fortunately, with the way those trees are oriented, the Dragon Knight was at the perfect angle to just run into the Dragon Knight. Now might find a Clockwork top here. Oh, definitely dead Clockwork. Buys himself a little bit of time with the ultimate stun, but you're certainly not getting away from that Dragon Knight.
Yeah. I mean, these are some great pickoffs. Obviously, the Sniper is nice, but anytime that you find the Disruptor at the start of the fight, you know you're in a good spot because that allows your reload. It just gives you the green light, right? Okay, Katomi, bring us in.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Okay, well,
Radiant's
it's still a
middle
very
tower
close
is
game
under
net
attack.
worth-wise. Like, a lot of it being carried off by the Luna. And Yatoro continuing to just push his advantage. The BKB is done, level 17, working towards his Conda next. And he buys out his Shard as well, so he will have that extra durability from the Moonglaves.
Haste.
I think in these fights, they'll be looking... Either you kill Luna right away, which is great, but now with BKB Shard, it's a little tough. Or you just try to like take her out of the fight. Either Cyclone her, or Nightmare, or Fiend's Grip. Just kill everyone else, and then like refocus on the Luna. But actually, I mean, Watson's pretty farmed with his build, and he's pretty close to a Basher, so... if you catch Luna before she can activate her stuff, you might just be able to burst her down.
Yeah, with level 2 Unleash, you probably can with a Basher. The other thing to note, though, is the Brewmaster's Primal Split. If you pop the Primal Split on the Luna, who has Glaives going, She just kills all of your brewlings.
That is true.
So fast. So that is something he has to consider.
Might just go for Roche.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Is he gonna just scout a Thunderstrike into the Roche pit? Do you think so? Katomi, his smoke's gonna pop. He knows there's someone back here. And it will be the Disruptor. He's like, hey, buddy! Good movement there from the IO. So no Disruptor means they can finish up the Roshan. You only have to be worried about maybe a Clockwork Steal, which Mira did complete his Aghanim Scepter.
Pretty decent timing on that Ags, all things considered, this game.
Oh, absolutely.
Hasty last hits, look at him go.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Oh my gosh. Fishman almost finds Laurel. He was so close to just securing a kill onto that sniper. But concussive grenade, obviously a really smart pickup here on the sniper. Just needs that extra maneuverability. And Fishman will get found by Collapse. The sharpshooter, I'm sorry, the headshot comes out, assassinate, whatever you want to call it. It's an ability. They get the kill.
That's a good kill because it's going to delay Entity a bit. Like any kill at this point, Entity wants to be able to make plays together because they just finished that basher on the Marcy. She has the Aegis for 4 minutes and about 15 seconds left. She is really powerful if you can just force fights.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Interesting, relocating bottom just to
Radiant's
guess
top
shut out the
tower
lane?
is under attack.
I suppose. That was... Oh, to place the ward. He gets like a really deep ward in the lane now.
Okay, pretty cool. Make it look like you're just pushing out the lane.
Attack.
Actually place observer wards, not on cliffs.
Hoggies.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
All right. 3k gold lead now for Spirit as they are continuing to just kind of out-farm them around the map. They do find the Dragonite on the top side. He's got no BKB. The Manta, he's trying to use it, but he's just surrounded. That is a fantastic find. Hook shot onto the backside from Mira. Also gets on top of the Bane. He needs help, but I don't know if he's going to get it. Watson is just dead on his own. What a scrappy fight, and you're getting crushed. You got to get out. They will throw the Cyclone, the Bruise Split to try and just make some space for Watson. But you lose the Bane, you lose the Aegis, you lose DK, you lose Bruise Split. Like, what a disaster for Entity.
That was an unfortunate series of events there, but well set up by Spirit. First securing vision in this area, finding no one. So they go kill him. That baits Entity to want to run in, but Disruptor is still in the back line, sees all this happening. Glimpses Watson, who, if he BKBs, he lives there without losing Aegis. That also feels kind of bad, though. But, I mean, he ends up having a BKB anyways to get out, so maybe she just popped it first on that glimpse.
Yeah.
Maybe caught off guard when he was, like, looking at Clockwork. Maybe didn't notice he got glimpsed.
Yeah, so not only do they get some great kills, they take the tier 2 tower, they take the enemy Tormentor, and Mira gets his shard for free, who's already having an amazing game.
They didn't even have the Aegis. Yeah, they're building the lead while the enemy team has the Aegis. That's not a good sign.
Illusion.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, at this point, I'm starting to lose faith in this, like, IO Marcy. It hasn't really... We haven't really seen it come online or do a whole lot yet. Maybe they'll surprise us as the game goes on, but now you have some serious damage issues.
I think it's because their initiation's a little bit on the weaker side, but also, I mean, Dragonite got caught there first, so
Yeah.
could look pretty different if you find the stun initiation and Marcy's allowed to just ult hit someone with the IO, but like you said, we just have not really seen that come into play in a larger fight. Like for smaller pickoffs, sure, but yeah, we're at the point you gotta find the Luna, and they're gonna get the glimpse on Dragonite. He didn't want a BKB, but
He actually has to.
yeah, forced into it after he sees how many heroes are in the area.
That plus the double Conda, like Luna has hers plus the 20 talent, so we've seen Conda, we've seen Sniper Luna games before, like both of them on the same team. Assassinate into a Lucent Beam is like 13 to 1400 damage immediately. It's pretty
super
hilarious.
balanced. Super balanced gameplay. Fun to play against. Awesome.
Here will walk up here, just gets deleted by Watson as the Unleash comes through. Well, okay, yeah, he does manage to find the kill. Now they need to run, though, a Stampede from Collapse. They get a good ward up onto the high ground. Yatoro, you're going to get Fiend's Grip, buddy. Oh, what a fantastic series of events now for Spirit, or for Entity, as they're looking for Collapse, and he's got no way out. He's already popped the Stampede. They'll be able to pull right back in with a Dispose, and okay. Maybe not realizing how many heroes and Entity were here.
That is finally the fight that Entity has been looking for. That was into Luna's shard too, and Watson still just pow, 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 punches her down. That is what they needed.
Yeah, Watson did a ton of damage. I mean, you get a full duration Fiend's Grip onto a Luna, she should die, right? He's got this one out. You think, oh, maybe it's just the IO and the Marcy. We can take this, but a sick immediate ward drop onto the high ground there from the Bane, and he gets the Stampede. He gets the Nightmare onto the Centaur into an immediate Fiend's Grip. Like, that's so well played from Fishman.
Yeah, I think you're totally right on the fact that that was a very aggressive movement. Stampede aggressively when we used to see Stampede saved for defensive plays. So they definitely thought that was just the two of them, we can kill them, but boy, were they wrong on that front, and that is a lot of gold going back to the way of Entity, and I think just a moment ago they were like 7k behind.
Yeah, it was a 7k lead. It is now pretty much dead even off the tail end of that fight. They end up getting 2 towers and all those kills. That is absolutely massive for them. And some really important items now coming out, right? We saw the Basher already on Marcy. She's close to her Aghanim Scepter, which I think some people don't probably know what this does, because, you know, Marcy's Ags is relatively new. But oh my god, is this annoying as all hell to play into. The AoE silence every time she casts a spell while Unleash is active is just, dude, it's so impossible to deal with. If you don't have a BKB at the ready, you actually can't play the game.
Relocate play looking for Maposhka, who has to preemptively drop Static Storm.
Uh-oh, Katomi needs to be careful. Glimmer Cape, Watson, they have to stop the IO reload back. They can't. Okay. Whoo, that is very spooky. But they managed to escape. They actually get the Stampede and the Static Storm. So some pretty nice trades for the side of Entity. And they're just going to smoke up.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
I think if he had tried to glimpse there, he may have forced a BKB. Maybe looking for the wrong... Maybe looking for IO, maybe, but IO is Glimmer Caped.
Yeah, IO was glimmered, and I don't think he was in the gem range of the Disruptor. I think Disruptor was too far back.
Yeah, and he was also maybe trying to like get the timing perfect, because you only have a very small window to glimpse, and then they like relocate back. But then the glimpse finishes at that point and brings them. So maybe just waiting like a fraction of a second too long.
Radiant are scanning.
I mean, we have a game on our hands. We don't have a game on our hands as we are paused again. Thanks for making me look like an idiot. What's the game plan here from Spirit? Because I feel like their Luna is enormous and their Clockwork is really farmed, but man, this Sniper, I just didn't even realize he's having a rough game.
Not the Sniper game we thought he'd be having, but he is working on his Conda, which is really when this build comes online. This is the weakness of this build, is like it's really slow because you're not going any farming items, but you need like 8,000 plus gold to get all of this. So it's pretty slow, but he's almost there now. And now we will start seeing some of that like Conda action we were just talking about. You can change server mid-game. I didn't even know that. Yeah, he just needs like a killer to recover. Plus, I think Luna is like really the one that does the damage. The fact that she was Fiend's Gripped in that last fight we saw her in didn't really let her showcase how much damage she can do. But being at the top of net worth, as long as she is attacking, I think your damage needs are covered, and so Sniper can just try to like set up for her with the Assassinate, or maybe save Assassinate to cancel Fiend's Grip, stuff like that, which will be a cool use of the Aghanim's Clockwork. Make sure you have Rocket Flare to scout out where Fishman is hiding, and then you just assassinate him to cancel the channel.
Super long Roche timer, 2 minutes and about 15 seconds. No one does finish up an Aghanim Scepter. He is level 19, so we're gonna have the Black Dragon now available for the DK. And this is quite good against the Luna now, because yeah, I mean, she has Satanic, but you can just kite her around now. Like, you can actually just throw some illusions on her, and she has a hard time dealing with this outside of Stampede.
Looks like Sniper's going to TP in, join a smoke with his team. We're going to fight over Roche. It's not even going to spawn after the fight ends. But you got to get yourself in position. Right now, Entity is first here. They got some good observers. But actually, I think they'll be in position. Smokes will break, and this observer won't see him. Okay, never mind. Sniper breaks his smoke, attacking something.
You have a Clockwork with Ags. He's going to scout everything, you know? And I'm surprised the Brewmaster is not the one on the front line. He can brew up, pop Void Brawler, and you can't kill him. So I'm a little bit surprised it's not the Brewmaster up on the high ground. They're putting the DK there. But for now, there it comes. The Ags out from the Clockwork, gonna start scouting, try to do what damage they can, force them back. They actually find the IO! A great catch! He tries to tether up, but goes right into the cogs. He's out of the fight. He's gonna buy back. They've isolated the Clockwork now. Mira's gonna lose himself. They get the Cyclone. Oh, the Luna. She's gonna need help. Can you stop him? The Fiend's Grip from Fishman. He's trying to hide into the trees. He's got him, and he's in such a good spot. The silence onto the Centaur. The Fiend's Grip, it lasts so damn long, and Watson will be able to finish the job. The back line falling as well. One more Cyclone to collapse, and this Centaur will bite the dust as well. An amazing rotation from the Bane to get the perfect Fiend's Grip there.
That was looking kind of good to start, but I think they need to find the Bane. So they were trusting the Rocket Flare to give the vision, but they use it to start this fight. Then Mira gets killed, so now they lose the Rocket Flare vision. Bane just keeping his distance, knowing he's just got to wait. Like, you even see him like, I got to go behind these trees before I Fiend's Grip now. And then the silence from Marcy actually silenced up Sniper as he was about to ult the first time. Oh, back in it, dive in the base, killing up Mira.
I mean, it hit the Centaur as well. He was coming through to try and just immediately blink hoof stomp the Bane, but he got silenced twice back to back, and it gave him like an extra 1.5 seconds of Fiend's Grip duration. Like, that Ags is so difficult to play around. Like, if you don't have a BKB, you don't get to cast spells in these fights if you're near this Marcy, and that is not only one lane of barracks, but looking like two. They could fork this, but your Luna has no buyback, and she is dead for another 10 seconds. Well, wait a minute, Sniper, a little bit scary. All right, they will just back away. One lane of barracks, but they can kind of reset here pretty easily. Your Brew Split is back up thanks to this early Octarine.
Yeah, this is a really big win, obviously, because they, got a set of barracks out of it. But their high ground is pretty tough. Like, Marcy trying to siege into, like, a Sniper, Luna, and then the Disruptor. Like, that's really scary. But winning this fight off of Roche, they didn't even do Roche. They recognized what an opportunity that fight was and just ran it down, took opened up the lane. So now the future sieges will be a lot easier. You could maybe even like do a sneaky smoke play into their base, which is possibly something they'll need to do to actually find the Sniper, to make sure he's not allowed to just attack from the back.
Yeah,
he's starting to go back for like regular right-click items, so his normal attacking will be quite significant. And we're about to repeat what we just did. Okay, we gotta set up for Roche, guys.
Set up for Roche, scout with tons and tons of rocket flares. The smoke wraparound here, if they find Yatoro, oh no, the Dragon Tail comes out. They've got him. He needs help, but will he get it? What a snipe on this illusion to block the Clockwork. He's dead. 80 seconds again with no Luna. Do you even need Roche? Can you just go high ground?
I think you do. The first gonna steal, looks like the Wisdom Rune. Pretty nice call. Man, they didn't even use Fiend's Grip as the thing, because they just chain bashed her with the the basher on Marcy. So
Middle barracks are under
even if she had buyback, they don't know she does or does not. But they're like, yeah, we got Fiend's Grip. If she buys back, comes in, I'll just grip her, guys. Turns out you're actually just gonna get the entire base.
And now we see this DK with the IO behind it, just making him an impossible target to initiate, right? Like, sitting on 4,000 HP with all of the healing and regen they're gonna get. They're gonna go for it. They're gonna try, but hook shot in. He's got an Ags here on the Disruptor. He can't BKB. He's getting pushed back. No, and he gets off in the last second, but he's still gonna die. The shot from Lara will do the job, but Watson deletes the Disruptor, and goodbye Centaur as well. They want Laurel, but will they go for him is the question. Watson's thinking about it, but no, they will back away. They get themselves the Mega Creeps, and I'm sure now Roshan is the topic of discussion. Dude, watch the hookshot block here with those illusions. That is so sick from no one, actually.
Very well played. From here, I mean, it's pretty hard. Luna can hold the base, but look how tanky Dragon Knight is. He just takes so long to kill. That healing from the IO for most of that eventually does fall, but you've committed so much at that point, and you had to all go in for that Watson's just able to clean up everyone. I think he 100-0 Disruptor in one series of punches. Finally come back for Roche now. You take Aegis on the Marcy, give that cheese over to IO. Yeah, so now imagine trying to kill Dragonite twice, because he's going to have all his, what, like 4,000 HP nearly? Yeah, 4,000 HP healed up from the cheese on IO, thanks to that extra amp on the healing. And you're doing that all while defending Mega Creeps.
Dude, he
queue up the Divines, I think. I mean, yeah, you could look for the Divine Rapiers at this point. Luna's working towards it right now, 2,800 gold away. Sniper is going back for a Mjolnir just to give himself a little bit more attack speed and damage, which is great, like, you know, if he's able to actually attack. But tier 4 item's going to come out. Rattle Cage for the Centaur. Quite nice, actually. A little bit more armor will go a long way here. But Aviana's Feather for Watson, so even more move speed. Fantastic. Marcy's a really interesting carry. Come on, they're about to maybe game-deciding fight here.
Oh, Mira, he's trying to get the Dragon Tail. He's not going to find it quite yet. Does get the cogs off. He's going to be able to walk onto the high ground. Fishman drops a really aggressive sentry ward there.
All right, I was going to say for Marcy carry with this IO, it's really interesting because you usually do pretty well in the laning stage thanks to your oppressive right-click damage. Then there's a bit of a drop because you're not actually a fast farmer. If you get slowed down in that period, it really sucks. But eventually, you hit these items and you just become this burst killer that is so terrifying if you can find those fights. And Spirit was pretty good about not giving up those fights for quite a while. But suddenly you see, like, once you're given that fight, you just destroy everyone, and you can just go from there. There's a world where they don't manage to find that fight, especially that overextension from Spirit when they thought it was just the Marcy and IO. If you don't give that, this game might look very different because Marcy will just keep falling behind because she is slower farmer than other traditional carries.
I thought for sure they would, like, you hit a Dragon Tail on Luna. I feel like you can actually just burst him with the Marcy, but they're being patient here.
The thing, I think you just don't need to take that risk, right? With a Dragon Knight slowly whittling things down while you have Mega Creeps. Like, no need to dive for the win when you can just go slowly for the win over 5 minutes.
They also just don't know if Utoro has buyback yet. At some point, he's going to have it, but he still has... He's saving up for a Rapier, so...
Which maybe you do want to pressure a little bit before he gets that, because it's always a little scary playing into a Rapier with... Luna could have it. If she dies, maybe Sniper's going to pick it up. That could be scary, too.
The thing about the Rapier that's interesting is if he gets the glaives off and like Watson jumps in, those do a lot of damage. Oh, speaking of Watson jumping in, gets nearly completely bursted. The Fiend's Grip out onto the Centaur, doing work, hookshot, holding them back on the backside, but DM just causing havoc with these Brewlings, trying to keep them at bay, just throwing them back into the base, and Centaur, he's gonna be the first to fall. DM still has his Storm Panda alive. They're going to buy it back as the tier 4 tower is going to go down. Obviously, you get... Well, actually, no one just diving here to just finish off this Disruptor gets the job done. He's going to buy back... This Luna is still in the air. Will finally come back down as they need to be able to disengage. They are looking for Katomi. He does have a tether. Oh, really nice save for Fishman, but they managed to finish him. Ice Glimpse back, pulls the Bane right into the hands of Spirit. They get themselves 2 kills, 2 buybacks, but they hold.
Managed to kill off that Marcy. I think she didn't want to commit Unleash on her first life, and I think she actually killed herself on the rattle cage of Centaur. He was Fiend's Grip. They were trying to finish that off. She actually loses the Aegis to that. I guess you're pretty happy with the buybacks. They are taking a slower approach to it. You could probably force it here if you wanted to, but again, you just keep sending in the Dragonite illusions. This fight was not as clean as they would have liked, but if you do eventually find that clean fight, like we've seen them win, where you do get to pop Martial, her Abyssal's now up, so I mean, she'll kill whoever, especially Luna, who just got Divine Rapier, so I mean, if you steal that,
Yatoro.
Good.
Gonna just take the Tormentor, just instantly dies. Thank you, Divine Rapier.
Is under attack.
It's a little bit of gold, as they all have their shard already, right? So it gets them maybe closer to buybacks if they can. I will point out, DM just finished a refresher and is level 25. So he has the Drunken Brawler passives for all of his Brewlings, which were causing kind of mayhem on the back line. Like, none of these heroes wanted to deal with it. And you don't want to, like, BKB the Brewlings. Like, you actually just can't afford to pop BKB because DM's throwing Brewlings at you.
He's gonna rat with them if you don't. It's the thing. He's gonna send the Brewlings into the tower, the base, the Dragonite illusions are gonna be there, the Mega Creeps are pushing in. Spirit is going to have to take fights. They're gonna have to like step out to engage, because if you just let this ratting happen, it's I mean, it's just not gonna go your way, right? There's only so much you can do, but it will be whittled down.
I mean, they're smoking out. They realize they have to do something. Maybe if you get the Disruptor ulti initiation on the Brewmaster,
They find Watson.
it'll work, but they find Watson instead. That's a great one. They also managed to isolate Katomi. Here comes the Brew Split from DM. Trying to maybe keep them in this one. He does not have buyback, but Spirit don't know
Mega's
this.
got tier 4s.
Oh, Collapse on the backside. Gets a great stomp. They've isolated the Clockwork. He's going to die. Fiend's Grip committed for that as well, so... Still a good find from Spirit, but yeah, like you said, they lost their tier 4s.
Sniper tried to back as quickly as he could. I mean, the last tier 4 was pretty low, so they neglected it for like 2 seconds, and it was too late. I mean, that's the tough part about once you get Mega'd, right? Everything is on a clock suddenly. Every play you want to make it just has to be so fast. And when you need a particular execution, like that was as good as they could get. Find Watson on his own, kill him before he gets anything off, but then to take the rest of the fight, Entity can just be like, yeah, just waste their time, guys, because the creeps, they're doing it for us.
Can't believe we're only halfway through this game.
I know. I love late game Dota, unironically. It's very fun.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I mean, we haven't really talked about the IO too much lately either. He did finish up his Heart of Tarask, now going for a BKB, so he's at the point where he is not super easily burstable. And will be providing an absolute ton of healing thanks to that heart. I wasn't sure if he was going to go for a Satanic because, you know, eventually you get your 25 talent, but it's hard to justify Satanic 4 levels before you actually get the talent.
I'm a little surprised he doesn't have a Vlad's. I feel like that would do really well, but I guess a lot of Marcy's damage is not base damage, but like the bonus damage from Sidekick and other items. I want to see him get a basher later. Like, as he gets close to 25, like, Marcy will bash first, then the IO attack will come in. I know he's ranged, but he's going to be attacking so much because of the Marcy, his bash will come in. You're going to, like, chain bash whoever you're hitting. It'd be sick.
Just machine gunning on the IO. It's like, sniper, I'm you, but better.
He'll probably just go for, like, a more normal damage item, but... No, I want to see it, the ranged basher.
That's so freaking funny. Fishman almost has an Aghanim Scepter, and he's also picked up a Timeless Relic, so that's fantastic for him. There is an Amplify damage rune top, has not been scouted yet. Either team would be very happy to grab it, but very likely to go to the hands of Entity as they have quite a bit of the map control. DM just takes it. He's just full farm. Dude, he was the first one to level 25, which kind of blows my mind.
The Dragonite?
No, the Brewmaster.
Oh, yeah. After the game he had? Or at least the lane he had? He's been doing pretty well since then.
Dire are scanning.
Alright, Roshan is up Dire side, so it has the Aghanim's Blessing. It's going to get scouted here by the Flare. I mean, this Ags, I guess you give it to Brewmaster. You could throw it on the IO, but...
I don't think IO Ag... At this point, IO Ag's not that great. A really early IO Ags is quite strong, but I think late game it's whatever.
Alright, Fishman will take it. He has a casual point booster. He can turn this into... I don't know.
Radiant's middle tower.
Octarine, do it.
Yeah, like maybe just goes to Octarine or something. Who knows?
He's queued up a condo, which is pretty funny.
Come on, bro. Please no.
Yes, do it. I think a Lincoln is pretty good for their team. I kind of think someone should get it. But the Conda's funny.
The Conda is hilarious.
Radiant are scanning.
Ooh, barely gets out there. Nice hook shot from Mira.
He's on cooldown
No
for a
way
bit
he's
here.
actually- Right? Surely he doesn't go Conda.
I don't think he even finishes another item. I'm pretty sure they can win off this Aegis.
Yeah. You just
Okay, here's what happens.
Buyback.
The game goes for like 10 more minutes without any fight. He'll get the Conda. They push here. They win. Done. They push. They throw. You see that Conda shift immediately to something else. You're like, oh, man. Yeah, that did not go the way I thought, guys. Okay, maybe Lincolns. Maybe we still need some team items here.
Scouting here with the DK illusions. Laurel is pretty far forward. There's the Dragon Tail. Watson's just gonna follow it up, and Sniper gonna get saved for the moment. Will still burn. Fishman, I think, gets the kill with Enfeeble, which is quite funny. Looking for more. AoE Dragon Tail stunning up Yataro and Collapse, but 10 seconds here before the Dragon Knight's Dragon Form is up, and DM is just on the throne here with this Primal Split. They find Fishman, though. Glimpse back. He's in a rough spot. Does have buyback.
Got the sniper
Get Laurel's
buyback, and I think it was like half the ancient, but it's healed up since then. I mean, you can just do that again. Just wait till you find sniper. That kill. They did commit one observer for it, but it's not really a big deal.
Yeah, the 30 pure damage from Enfeeble, I think, killed him.
That's why I need to get a Conda, guys.
Well, waiting for the Bane to respond.
Enfeeble is super long range, so it is actually pretty easy to apply Conda. He switched over to Boot to Travel for now.
Ooh, they find no one. That's a blink in from Yatoro, and he is super dead. Maybe getting a little bit too complacent with this game, and now he's dead for 100 seconds.
That's the one observer Spirit has in this part of the map. They had other stuff dewarded, so they probably thought they were pretty safe. I forget who is currently carrying the gem. It looks like Brewmaster. So maybe doing a sweep, but just happens to miss that one right there. So Spirit knows exactly where to run to grab that Dragonite kill. And they get the Blink Static Storm, which has... he's got the Ags on the Disruptor, so nothing Dragonite could have done there.
Actually buys back? Wait.
They're out of the
Fishman's
base. They're
looking
trying to
for his
fight
opening.
while they retreat.
Does he know this is the real Yatoro? He can't go for the Fiend's Grip. He's got a Lotus. It actually gets completely wasted. And they all disengage into the base. It does cost Yatoro his BKB. So we'll see if he can get out of this one. Does need to be a little bit careful. DM is on the throne. Watson, though, gets caught initially. That's going to be the Aegis. And DM, first split, going to come to an end here fairly soon. Watson forced to BKB, looking to go on top of Yatoro. The Abyssal Blade is out, but he doesn't have Unleash. No one comes in, gets the Dragon Tail. Can they just deal with this Luna? They're going to throw her into the air instead. Just ignore her. DM back onto the throne, trying to force this fortification. His Collapse is actually just burning as well. They have not gotten the fort out. Yatoro, once again, holding the front line as Entity spend a lot here, and they still don't manage to crack the high ground. Oh, they get the glimpse on Fishman. Mira trying to close the gap, but does not want to go in too far. Trying to hook to safety. Dispose, not going to come through, but they get on top of Watson, and he's dead! What a find from Yatoro. The Stampede collapse. He's looking for more. Will he find it? Dude, the Dragon Knight is the hero, but instead they will only find the Bane. Still a very good find.
Sniper holding the base in the meantime. Oh man, dude, the shard on Luna does so much damage with the Divine Rapier. Just anyone she is standing next to is getting absolutely shredded. I think we see it coming up here. I think it was Watson's second life. It's just gone so quickly from a. I think it was like double Conda hit and then into the shard.
He took almost 1,000 damage from the shard or from the Moonglaves. But yeah, snipers like assassinate Conda ended up doing like 600-700 damage. So very good stuff. Able to burst down Watson, and they have buybacks, right? Like everyone on Radiant except the Dragon Knight still has their buybacks, but getting those kills is massive. And they actually managed to find DM. He can just go for an immediate split from the Void form, and Mira now needs to be careful. Can DM actually get out of this though? He's trying to clean up the clockwork. He's not gonna be able to. Uh-oh. DM. He's gonna have to cancel this Primal Split at some point. He just gets him on the blades. Dude, a series of massive pickoffs from Spirit.
I'm gonna have to go back and look. On that Dragon Knight buyback, I do remember a Fiend's Grip attempt on Luna, and I know she has Lotus, but he has an Axe on Bane, which I thought last time should have still Fiend's Gripped from the illusion. Maybe
Yeah,
that
I thought so
mechanic
too,
changed. Maybe the mechanic changed or something else killed the illusions like instantly, which I suppose if glaives were bouncing, maybe that's what happened. But I think if you actually Fiend's Grip kill that Luna there, that fight looks totally different. But instead, it's now
the game would have
snowballed. Yeah, it's now snowballed into Spirit equalizing some lanes, maybe? They don't have the bottom tier 2, so they can't get megas. Maybe they force you more. Fiend's Grip
Well, an immediate Fiend's Grip. Yatoro, that is not where you want to
Divine Rapier
be.
down.
All right, Divine hits the deck. DM looking for the backside. He's got a split in a couple of seconds. Just staying on top of Collapse. He pops the Workhorse. That is not an ability that exists in Dota 2, but he's going to try his best to get away. It's not going to happen. DM just chasing him down. The Stormcrafts are canceling those blinks constantly. So Collapse hits the deck. That's a dieback. No Divine Rapier for your Luna. What just
Marcy
happened?
has 700 damage right now.
I mean, I want to see a replay there. I don't know how they just walk to the high ground and get Fiend's Grip like that. It's just a dispose into Fiend's Grip, right? Am I missing something?
She was Lotused again, so maybe thinking she couldn't be Fiend's Grip like earlier. But yes, this time the Fiend's Grip goes through and killed immediately by Watson, who we were saying Marcy as a carry does a lot of burst damage.
There's a refresher on Disruptor, so maybe the Static Storm catches them off guard here. Centaur not being available for 80 seconds, 75 more seconds is massive, right? The potential to get people out with Stampede, but now that he also gets the Workhorse, like that's his job, is to try and just save the Luna. Clockwork forced to hookshot these Brewmaster illusions or lose his base, and instead will lose his life to an immediate buyback. As the Earth Spirit is still walking in to hit that throne as much as he possibly can.
Oh, they find
They
Luna.
jump in, they get the Dragon Tail. Luna's dead immediately. That's it, baby. That's got to be game one in the bag. Yeah, there's no hope at that point. The damage from Marcy in the late game in terms of burst is just way too much, especially with a Divine Rapier.
You see how quickly Sniper dies there. All right, a little bit of up and down there. Entity looking pretty relieved to have finished closing that one out. They had a pretty good start on Team Spirit, but Entity did eventually find a fight they needed. Like, that was a very even game for, let's see, I'm looking at the charts, about 30 minutes, pretty even. Spirit started to pull a lead, but then that one misread of where Entity was let Entity just take control from there on.
Yeah, it really was that, like, that one fight at the bottom Tormentor where they were just a little bit unsure and gives Entity the green light. Watson got so much out of that fight, but so did the Brewmaster and Bane. Like, they all were there to just clean up, so that was massive. And yeah, you go for the Divine Rapier on Luna, you have Mega Creeps, like, you don't really have much of a choice, but to get Fiend's Gripped on the enemy high ground, that is about the worst thing that could possibly happen.
And maybe we'll see it in one of these replays. I do like the idea of this Io plus Marcy, because Marcy's farming speed is pretty bad. Like, even if she goes for a Battle Fury, it's just quite slow compared to other carries. So pairing it with the Io, some natural synergy there, but also just being able to relocate for ganks, that is where she shines, is killing heroes and getting gold that way. And then they pair it up with a Dragonite and a Brewmaster, two heroes who do get a bit more greedy and they can farm a lot. So actually in the last hits on the scoreboard, you could actually see Marcy, the carry, is actually on the low end of her other cores. They have like twice the amount of last hits. But it works as part of their draft, which I think is a really, really neat way to work Marcy into working.
This fight right here also was pretty much game winning as well, like getting the almost near full duration Fiend's Grip onto this Luna. And you can see Centaur comes in, gets silenced, and that little bit of extra duration just allows Watson to finish the kill. And yeah, I mean, Yutoro, he knows he can't really just play for buyback in that type of engagement either, right? Like, so he's spending out all of his money in each of these fights. And this was like a glimmer of hope, right? They catch the Marcy, they end up catching a few more heroes, they bring back a near 17,000 gold advantage. But we'll see the Fiend's Grip on the high ground, I'm sure, in a little bit.
Yeah, Spirit is they're a decisive team in the late game. They will make these plays pretty quickly. It doesn't always pan out, but it's why every team is, you got to respect it. You got to be careful. We've seen Team Spirit come back from many a bad game because of how they can make those plays, such as that kill onto Watson in that last replay. I think... yeah, he just exploded. Yeah. That's where they like just blink right on top of him. He just dies instantly.
It was a close game. Like, Spirit almost managed to keep themselves in this, but yeah, it was just a little bit too difficult.
I think if you go back to it, play the same game, but just change the way you take some fights, it'll look quite different. So again, like, Spirit has lost here, and they're probably starting to feel the pressure of their current score, but it doesn't feel like they're playing horrifically. Maybe not to their like absolute domination, which is where they seem to play when they are winning TIs, but it's crazy. Their like poor form is still like pretty scary.
So that like on the replay there, I do see the Bane like Lotus Orb came out and the other Fiend's Grip still connected. So yeah, maybe, I don't know what happened the first time they went to Fiend's Grip him and he got away. Maybe they had something to cancel the illusions. It's hard to say, but yeah, the Lotus Orb did not protect him on the enemy high ground there.
I wonder if that gave them false confidence, like, because that first one, it worked and I missed it. Maybe they know what happened, but maybe they thought, oh, I guess Lotus Orb does protect versus Fiend's Grip. Maybe like something changed we don't know of, you know, and then they just walk up like that.
I think if you're coming back into game 2, one of the things you have to look at this draft is, can you give DM Brewmaster? Legitimately, it's like you ban the Monkey King, you pick the Centaur, which has like been their most successful heroes, and then he still gets his Brewmaster, and you ban his Batrider lane partner, and it's like, surely this will slow down DM, and he won't have this crazy Brewmaster game, but he just does it anyway. So an amazing performance from Entity. They are still undefeated in this tournament. They have yet to drop even a single game. But we'll see what happens, because we've got game number 2, our final game of the evening, coming up in just a moment. Everyone stay tuned. It's going to be Entity versus Team Spirit. We'll see you in just a bit. What's up, everybody? Welcome back here. It is the final game of the evening, Entity versus Team Spirit. As I mean, Entity's looking fantastic, man. They pull off a really cool game number one here. A definite comeback, as they were in a pretty bad spot early on, but Team Spirit unable to close this one out. Zach, talk to me. What could Spirit have done differently?
I think draft wise, it was looking pretty good. I like what they had. Like we were ending on that note of like Brewmaster being pretty scary on DM. It does seem like Centaur or Brewmaster, and it felt like they had a plan. They took the Centaur for themselves. They like banned out some stuff. They had like, the Disruptor ready for the Brewmaster. So that part I think was good. But then I think maybe the sniper pick made the execution a little bit difficult. I think it could have still worked, but it just felt like they had a hard time making use of the Luna's net worth. And I think with a different mid hero, it's easier to execute. But what ended up happening is that as the game was dragging out, they eventually take a couple bad fights where the Luna gets killed, and then Entity takes control of the game. So maybe you shift the draft a bit. Maybe you just change the way you take some fights, but it could like they could still definitely beat Entity. Although Entity has been looking great, and although they seem to be really focused on DM's heroes with like that Brewmaster Centaur, they are bringing out some different ideas. Like for example, that Io Marcy just now.
Yeah. And you made a lot of really good points about the Io Marcy being like, she's a terrible farming hero. Like she does not CS super fast, but when you have the ability to just bring her to fights and find kills, especially when you have a Bane who can very easily set up fights. So it worked out well. They played it very slick. I'm curious to see if they go back for it or what Team Spirit's going to do in the draft to try and like adjust. I would be shocked if the Brewmaster makes it through. I think we're likely to see either the Monkey King or the Centaur and the Brewmaster all banned out phase 1. But then the question is, what do you do? Like what heroes can you afford to leave in?
They could ban it all this time if they wanted, because last time Team Spirit was first pick. This time they have to ban the Chen if they don't want to deal with that. But you could ban Chen, Brewmaster, Monkey King, maybe the Centaur too. That could be your 4 bans, or you swap that. Like you just ban one of them. Like maybe this time you're okay with them having Centaur, but you'll ban Brewmaster, something like that. It does mean like Batrider, who they banned last time, would get through potentially, depending what Entity bans here. Yeah, Entity's going to start with the Magnus ban. So there's the Chen from Spirit. Both these teams play Chen position 5. Got to respect it. That hero is too scary to let through the draft. Both these teams respecting each other on that. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if they think Brewmaster was the problem. I'm kind of okay if they let it through, so long as they, again, have like a good answer for it in the lane and then just change up the heroes that help them play the game later on. But it is scary that late game Brewmaster, like not even just talking about DM, just late game Brewmaster is very, very annoying to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, he got a lot done every single team fight. He's able to like split up the back line and get like a couple Cyclones off, and that's all you need. Like he just forced Yatoro to basically either BKB or not fight, and it just felt so rough for him to play the Luna like that. They unfortunately will be banning the Monkey King, so we will not be able to see this strategy once again. But now you have to make the difficult decision: the Centaur or the Brewmaster. Which one are you giving to Entity? They're say Porque no los dos. They'll give them the option of both, but Entity now could just ban out like the Shadow Demon, or just ban the Centaur and pick the Brewmaster, but
they are first pick. I mean, it's pretty crazy. There's still quite a few, because of these targeted bans. There's heroes like Timberstaw still in the pool. The Razor that we've seen so highly contested. They're going to go for the Disruptor, who I think is a really strong support pick versus both Brewmaster and Centaur. And, you know, we did see it come into play that last game, and I do think it won them the laning stage. So I'm okay with this, saying, you know, we don't feel like it was those off laners that were the problem.
I mean, I like Disruptor. This hero just feels incredibly strong. Obviously, it didn't win last game, but not because it didn't have a lot of impact, right? Those early Static Storms completely shut them down, and then on top of it, you get the Aghanim Scepter. The Mute can be massive. Picking Tusk into Disruptor is a little bold, I'll be honest, because you have to go for an early BKB. Like, your build is basically Blink and a BKB, right? Otherwise, whoever's in this Static Storm is certainly dead because you can't snowball save him anymore.
Yeah, but if you do reach that point, or in the early game, you can like snowball on the side of Static Storm. People like walk to the edge of you, you pick them up. I mean, the save potential is there, and against Glimpse as well. So I can see maybe why they're wanting the Tusk, but it is tough to do, to have to play into the Disruptor.
I'm curious what the lane partner is going to be, because I think that also makes or breaks the lane against the Disruptor. If you decide to play this as a 5-position Disruptor, but you could also just move him to the off lane and pick something like the Crystal Maiden, which we've seen do quite well into Tusk lanes. There's going to be the Timbersaw ban.
I mean, we've been talking up the Centaur and the Brewmaster, but they're both here. I guess you'll see one more pick from Team Spirit, and you'll get to decide which one you want on Entity. Because I don't know if there's another support you care about as much as the Disruptor, which Entity has already picked, which will protect that Brewmaster and Centaur. Clockwork, maybe, that we saw them attempt last time.
So the thing with Clockwork is it used to be like one of the best counters in the game to Brewmaster until he got the Void stance. But now with Void stance, you actually get enough status resistance to use your ult between battery assault hits, which is pretty game ruining for the Clockwork. Like, he needs like more help. It is great to get the hookshot initiation and maybe push him back into your team, but you can no longer just like sit on him in cogs and prevent him from ever pressing ult. They banned the IO. Wow, that is surprising. But
I mean, I guess you've already got
on it, so
yeah, and you've already lost the Disruptor pick, which was their response to the IO. So maybe not willing to run it against that, especially like Faceless Void's taken out too. Like, these are some of the best heroes versus an IO. I like this. I feel like Entity's variety of gameplay has helped them a lot in this drafting stage. Like, we see a lot of respect bans going towards them.
okay,
Which is opening up some of the more normal meta heroes.
Yeah, this hero gets ban attention all the time, so he's gonna slip through the draft, like you said, because of the kind of non-meta bans here. But we'll see what they want to do with this. It's likely to be a mid laner, but we see it a lot in the off lane as well, and that's what makes it such a strong early pick, because you can kind of flex this. With a Tusk, it doesn't feel like the strongest lane, and they will get their Centaur for DM, deciding we'd rather have this over the Brewmaster. I can understand that with the amount of control from Kunkka. Maybe he feels like he might not be able to get the split off as easily, but Centaur also doesn't love playing into Kunkka either.
Yeah, I think this Kunkka pick is really cool because he's good versus both Disruptor and Centaur. Again, a bit of a read on, like, we know they want these heroes, so we can preemptively pick something like Kunkka that is going to do well versus them. Not that they won't still have their own game and things to do, but it'll be more annoying playing into that X mark.
I'm trying to think like where they want to go. It's got to be the other support, right? Oh, baby, a Grimstroke. Let's go. This hero is becoming one of my favorite heroes of the patch.
Yeah, this is also good versus Tusk, because if you soulbind, let's say Kunkka, and then Tusk wants to blink snowball save, because you blink in and the soulbind's not activate, you get soulbound and you can't use snowball. Am I crazy in saying that? I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
No, you are correct. It instantly latches to whoever the nearest target is, and yeah, that would be the Tusk.
As long as someone else is already soulbound, though, I'm pretty sure you can still pick them up. Or can you not do that either?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, you can pick them up if you're not soulbound, yeah. But the hard part is like a solo hero getting picked off that has soulbind on them means Tusk can't save them. I don't know if he could do it with a BKB, but it is like a leash, so I don't think he can. Enchantress will be picked up. A very strong lane hero. Something that we see a lot from Team Spirit as well. So maybe this will do what they need into the Centaur lane. But we see DM a lot of times just go like double bracer and a blade mail and just max out retaliate. I think we'll probably see something similar against an Enchantress.
I mean, Soulbind's annoying, but I feel like it's a decent lifestealer game here. The issue is you would have potentially 2 counter picks, being your life annoying, but okay, they're gonna go back for Luna. Luna's also good versus Centaur. I was thinking you pick a carry that can be left alone because you want Enchantress to move around, so you have a good early game, and then you can go roam with the Tusk and maybe the Kunkka mid, maybe Kunkka off. It doesn't actually matter. You can just play with the Kunkka boat. But your carry can't die in the meantime. So I thought Lifestealer would be good for that because you'd leave him alone. Luna's kind of good for that too, though, because if you do have a good laning stage together, which they should into this matchup, then she can just jungle anytime it looks too scary. So kind of fits what I was thinking still. I mean, he didn't. I wouldn't say like he had a bad time on the Luna last game. He was top net worth and everything.
Dude, you got Mr. Destructoid in the middle of that. You got turned into a complete robot, but we caught the end of your points. It made sense. This is like a pretty obvious Morphling pick coming through. The Luna matchup is definitely Morphling favored. It can get away from Tusk Snowball and Shards. You can dodge X. Like, this is probably as good as a Morphling game that you could get for Watson. So now you have to deal with this. They ban out the Doom. That's probably number 1. What other hero can you even pick into this offlane to shut down this Viper? Or this Viper, sorry, this Morphling.
It's a great question.
Primal, maybe?
I don't know.
You just try to go tanky and go for something like a Primal Beast? I don't know. Get rid of Pangolier for Spirit.
One of the mobile heroes who can dodge out Glimpse, who can then run over to the Morphling early, could be good. I was going to say Puck. Maybe a hero like Void Spirit or Ember Spirit. They might be possible as well. You are last pick on Team Spirit, so you'll get to see your mid matchup and then go from there. Or potential mid matchup. Like you said, you could just run Kunkka there and then pick an offlaner.
I like the idea of Primal Beast here. They're going to ban the Enigma. Earth Spirit. Oh, God, he's doing it. No one, again, pulling out the Earth Spirit mid. He went sicko mode on this earlier in the tournament. I'm curious if he can do it again. Obviously feels comfortable in the matchup.
This is really cool. I think this is so fun seeing Entity bring such a unique style. Like, no one else is doing Monkey King support. No one else is doing this, like, Earth Spirit mid. And they're doing it well, right? They've been winning so much. I hope we're not cursing them here. They get destroyed here or something. But, like, they've been looking so good, and it's been on... I mean, not that they're playing totally out of the meta heroes, but, like, it feels like they have their own unique picks, which is really cool to see.
All right, bringing back the Underlord. The hero Spirit managed to win with earlier. We'll see if it actually manages to secure them another win up against Entity. But to be honest, I have a lot of faith in that Earth Spirit pick. It is going to come online very quickly with a Vessel. And you have 3 really strong Grimstroke pairings, right? Like, anytime you pick Grimstroke, it's similar to the Mirana where you're like, all right, we need someone to throw Inkswell on. And you have 3 great heroes for this.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It has dropped off. It is not as good as it used to be, and that's why many people went away from it. We didn't get to actually see the game they played with Earth Spirit before, so I'm looking forward to actually watching how he's playing this hero to see if he's doing anything different from the last time we saw it. Maybe it's it got what, like 30 extra damage on roll. Maybe that's the game changer. It's just broken open this hero for no one here. I don't know. I will say this Underlord pick into the Morphling. Morphling has a lot of base damage, which will get reduced by the Underlord passive. So maybe we'll get to see some cool stuff there. Collapse potentially just like outlaning hard is what they're going for here on this last pick. I do think
I
Tusk
think
Tusk Underlord sounds wacky, I gotta say.
Yeah, that's the part I was wondering about. Is I'm like, I don't really know how much you're gonna get accomplished here because it is a Tusk Underlord lane against another hero. If you could like trap them in the shards and get some serious damage out, then maybe. But Morphling will always have waveform, right? So we'll see. Disruptor also kind of a nuisance against these guys. I would not hate to see a Max Thunderstrike build this game as opposed to the like Max Glimpse, because I think you're probably playing the aggressor, but it depends on the timings.
Yeah, I'd also be up for it as a way to... Like, X-Mark is pretty good versus Glimpse, and so is, like, Snowball. So if you go max Q first, you might have... one, you might be able to help Morphling out more in the lane, get Morphling a good start. And then two, with the Shard, you get some greedy potential to use it as a scouting tool that then no one can just roll in on his target, stuff like that.
30 seconds to battle.
Where are you going?
Casually knocked over my work laptop, but I'm back. We're ready to go. I'm sure my company's gonna be fine about that.
Don't worry.
All right.
Dota is
Fishman,
life.
that is the tag team you want. Ooh, stomp off the mark.
All right, bye,
Yeah,
Fishman.
just let it go. That's first blood for Laurel.
My
That's
bad.
a great hero to get it.
The battle
Yeah, I mean,
begins.
that stomp probably wouldn't have saved Fishman's life anyways. They do get an observer down to block the Enchantress's camp, or at least one of the potential camps that the Enchantress might use, so still sort of accomplishing what they wanted to down here. But definitely the mid kill going to Laurel, that's scary. We've seen the First Bloods really turn mid matchups, and Laurel is just going to start with like double the net worth now off of that First Blood. See how much he can get done with it. He just has a bracer
Yeah.
to go.
I was gonna say he now has like a pretty significant damage advantage that he wouldn't have against the Earth Spirit. Eventually, the Earth Spirit should, with his items, catch back up. But Laurel might just go double brace. Yeah, he is. He's just gonna skip the bottle and queue up double bracer now, which I think he can do.
Which he had a bottle queued up originally and now has switched over to this build. This is something we heard BZM talk about, where it's like, you know, I used to get baited. Like, I get the First Blood, I buy the bottle early, I take like some bad like trades because I think like, oh, I got bottle so early, and it's a bait. It does nothing for him. So switching over to stats, which are much easier to work with, and then maybe he still goes back for bottle after this like double bracer. We'll see. But he's definitely getting more early power compared to rushing the bottle.
Poshka needs to be very careful. Ooh, he's all right. Nice little loosen beam there. He opens enchant here in this lane, so with that, it's quite good at dealing with things like the Inkswell, but unfortunately there is no Inkswell. Has yet to find a creep. Stomp just barely off the mark there from DM, so Maposhka now with an Age of Independence up. He's very happy. He'll be able to trade this lane, no problem. Meanwhile, top lane, Snowball's coming through, looking to stay on top of the Disruptor now, but through the trees he goes. And Watson, he's going to lose his courier. Mirror with a nice salve up. All right, able to stay away from the Disruptor. I haven't been paying too much attention to the top lane, but so far Watson seems like he's having a pretty good time.
Tusk set is sick. He's got one of those bug
Dude,
items.
that-
He's on fire.
Yeah. So I've seen Chaos Knights have this exact effect, this old prismatic gem, and it just ruins the game because he presses Phantasm and there's like 4 of these things running around, just molten fire everywhere. Lags the game out like crazy. But yeah, lane's fairly even. Top lane, another tag team coming out from Mirror, trying to do what damage he can to Watson. He really wants this Lotus, and he is not going to get it. Great snowball there to cancel. Your Disruptor has no mana. He hasn't had mana for quite some time. Sure his Courier. Yeah, bringing out a Clarity and a Blood Grenade. Good start to the game from Spirit.
Mir's got a wind lace on the way. Not always an item we see picked up so quickly, but that'll give him some roaming potential. Curious to see, I guess, mid. Or he could maybe just use the extra movement speed to play the lane, run over to the camps like double stack, because he does have 3 cores who can all clear stacks very quickly.
Yeah. Maposhka is actually going to head up here and probably start wanting to block these camps. Not surprising. Oh, actually, level 2 enchant. He's going to try and find his own creep. Top lane, though, collapse. In trouble. Snowball to get him to safety. Fishman, no mana left, so he'll be okay, but... Man, this mid lane is just like nothing happening. I like look over and they're just like hitting each other over and over. And
so
they're both
tanky.
CSing.
Yeah, just 2 heavy set brawlers just whacking away at each other. I'm a little surprised that Laurel's not doing better, but perhaps. I mean, this is ooh, top. First
Very nice
blood
kill there.
onto Disruptor, or not first blood, but the second kill. First kill after that initial lane.
Jeez, everybody's dying. I mean, it's a 1-for-1 trade bottom. The Centaur creep, not the actual Centaur hero, but the Conquer, with the help of Luna, able to run down one. Mid
Fishman
lane, though, they
rotating
are going
mid.
to bring Fishman to try and bring down Laurel. Torrent will give him some space. No spells left. He's going to be just fine. X, however. Dude, okay, they just dive top and kill Watson. Now Fishman's gonna die. He gets the bottle refill as well, but no one's trying to finish the job. The roll blocked by the Enchantress, and no one cannot get the kill. And instead, he's got to be careful. Great stroke of fate there from Katomi. There's like no kills, and then suddenly 6 kills in 1 second.
Dire's top
What just
tower
happened?
is under attack.
Dota 2 action going on. They really wanted the urn charges for Earth Spirit, which took a while, but roundabout way, they eventually kill Kunkka. He is going to get the urn, and now he's going to heal himself off of that. And it might set them up for the 6-minute rune here. Looks like Mira is going to make his way over, though.
He has Magnetize. He's just gonna go kill Collapse. The roll in. Oh, what a pause!
It's on his own team, though. It's on his own team.
Yes, Discord, I guess. Collapse with the
Collapse
XDs,
XD.
like,
He's weighing
How
out
many
his
TPs?
decisions right now. I mean, he
I mean,
just
there's no
salved
way,
up.
right?
He's got 826 health, 6 wand charges, or stick charges. But Magnetize sure does a lot here in the early game.
I mean, now it's just gonna hit Mira as well. You might have just killed yourself, but he's just gotta kite this one through. No one trying to survive. As one more roll, gets to safety, and Mira's gonna go down. So 2 kills in the top lane. Meanwhile, mid lane they managed to bring down a Disruptor. A little bit of a dive behind the tower, the Grimstroke, committing the X boat.
Like you said, kills everywhere. Earth Spirit TB's home, fills up. He's running back mid. They might be able to glimpse Laurel. He might be sticking around here too long. Oh, never mind. He's going to show. They don't want to take too much damage from this. Well,
Radiant
Fishman.
structures
Oh!
are fortified.
That's the unfortunate glimpse.
lost track of where he was 4 seconds ago. It happens. 7-minute rune. Maybe a brief moment of no fighting. Looks like both sides will get their own runes. Well, Earth Spirit definitely getting work done. We weren't sure what this would look like, but he's 1-0 and 2. Has been getting pretty active as soon as he finished this urn.
A gift from the tempest of battle.
Dude, Maposhka is actually so farmed and super high level for this 5 position Enchantress. And we know like this is a hero that typically gets banned against these guys, so it's not super surprising. Top lane, they are getting aggressive. Watson's gonna TP, or Watson's gonna back, but guess what? Another TP in from no one. He's gonna try and stall out this Magnetize, but it is still ticking. And a nice Stampede as well. Glimpse will send Laurel out of the picture. The boat still connects though and manages to bring them down, and the run buff is doing a lot of work here. No one now starting to die himself. Dude, Collapse is gonna live. Finally dies to Fishman, but a massive turnaround. Oh baby, 3 for 1 thanks to that boat from Kunkka.
Yeah, boat was actually so fight changing right there. And in the end, he was like, oh no, I got Glimpse back. It's like, oh, totally fine, guys. Won the fight. Straight back to farming. Actually, efficiency play there from the Kunkka. Wow, I can't believe one hit away from dying before the Underlord killed no one there.
That's such a big win. Both supports are level 6 now for Team Spirit. Basically the same amount of XP as the Underlord. And Maposhka with this Troll Summoner will make quick work of the tower.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Remember when Underlord used to get permanent damage from atrophy kills?
Oh, dude, I love that. That was one of my favorite. I used to play a lot of Underlord, specifically at that time.
Let's bring it back.
We need more infinite scaling heroes. Watson. Poked by Mira here. I don't know how you kill this Enchantress without, without bringing a lot more heroes. No one is here. Mira just goes in, does just solo down the Disruptor.
A lot of bonus damage from those skeletons.
That is true.
Is that worth who got that kill? No one picked it up. But that was 4 heroes top. So you're like, just making space. I guess it's not too bad in the end. The Underlord pick sort of seems to be working. Watson is having a slower start than he'd like. He's not like Underlord didn't like crush him or anything in the lane, but they both slowed each other down, and so Luna is getting up there.
Yeah, and Laurel, he's getting down there. So they're gonna go ahead and immediately pop the X, the boat. They're gonna pull in Collapse for safe measure. And he's gonna go right back to the top side of the map.
He's thinking like, oh, too bad I don't get permanent damage anymore for that kind of rotation. Why even come? Like, really, now that I think about it.
All right, Spirit looking much cleaner here in game 2 as they're off to a fantastic start. Again, the Morphlings matchups late game are fantastic, but it's going to take a moment for him to catch up to the Luna now.
Yeah, I mean, Luna's a fast farmer, faster than Morphling naturally, so... What could her timing be? Manta BKB, Scotty is really good versus Morphling. Good X save on the Enchantress, getting glimpsed. The counterplay we talked about earlier.
Yep, always. I mean, stealing this Ancient stack, fantastic. Laurel just continuing to push further and further ahead. He's almost to his BKB, right? He's about 1,500 gold away at this point, 1,600 gold away. They're smoking to the top side, though, maybe to punish Collapse. No one with the finished Spirit Vessel. That should have more than enough damage. No boat buff this time to keep him alive, so Collapse. Quick pick off. Really nicely set up. 3 points in the Ink Swell. And this is what they need to be doing on Entity, right? Like, they have to be punishing with these 2 heroes.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Are they going through Portal? It looks like it.
Your admiral is on board.
They want to find the Luna.
She's backing off. She's not going to stick around, I think.
And unfortunately, they're not going to catch sight of her. And, I mean, they might chase, but it's blind. Which, fortunately, they're actually going exactly the way she is. But she's actually pretty close to her Kunkka.
They see
these going to get past each other?
They got him. The stun's off the mark, but the chain stuns, the damage comes through, and Luna, she's going to tick down eventually. Nice Stampede to buy them a little bit of space. They've lost Disruptor on the backside. Great stomp from DM, but in comes Morphling as well, trying to just take down Mira, but able to dodge it out for a while. There's a whole bunch of damage being dumped in onto Laurel here. He's doing his best to try and get away. Here comes the boat DM. The stomp not going to connect quite yet. Does manage to drop it now, but Miposhka just throwing in this impetus damage, and Watson here still trying to do what he can with the tag team, trying to keep Mira or even Miposhka down. No one stunned up, has one more roll, but can't get it off. Miposhka actually the highest damage dealer here, I think, for his whole team. He was crushing this. 4 points impetus.
Classic Enchantress gameplay. Gonna get his Dragon Lance off of that, I think. Yeah, he's got a full Dragon Lance. 13 minutes in. He's rich. He's almost about to pass Collapse.
Yeah. He really is. He's actually really close to passing Collapse. I mean, in this fight, Watson actually got super baited by Mira multiple times. He turns into the Tusk, and he wants to go for like this like level 4 tag team and like kill a hero, but instead, like, Tusk just runs away from him, and he never even gets to auto attack a target. So, yeah, very unfortunate for Watson on the Morphling. Maybe, obviously, he'd probably like to play as the Luna in the future fights, or even Kunkka being able to still like X Torrent is fantastic. But yeah, did not find that much success on the Morphling in that fight.
Did at least pick up a kill and get out alive, so got some money out of it, which he's starting to catch up because of that. He's not too far behind the Luna anymore. How does Miposhka keep finding Dark Troll Summoners? What a guy.
Just wills them into existence.
High-level gameplay. Simply find them.
Just double sentry. He's like, I want to make sure there's no freaking ward. Go ahead and exit back. Oh, top lane though. Yatoro caught out completely.
Instant rotations bottom to try to save Watson, but a little bit too late.
Back the other way. They should be able to continue the dive. They don't have Bode, but Glimpse will push back. Collapse. Now, however, Laurel stuck in a pretty rough spot here. Inkswell comes in. No one to continue chasing. Spirit Vessel out onto the Kunkka. Mira does get soulbound up to this Underlord as no one gets the magnetized damage rolling. They need to actually just get away from this. Snowball on in instead. Mira will be able to finish off this Disruptor. He is styling on the Tusk this game. So another Vessel charge comes through, dodges out the roll. Eventually will burn Watson to clean it up. DM? What is going on over here?
DM?
I'll take your hoof for a trophy.
Like how Laurel tips him like, what are you doing? I actually don't know what he was doing either. How did he die here? He actually just died to Ancient Creeps.
I guess didn't see the Luna getting close. Wanted to steal some farms, trying to be real greedy, but whoops. Could have just fed a kill over to Yatoro.
There's been
Watson was catching up to, but after a free kill, I think he's maintaining a 1,000 gold lead, which is the end of the world actually. But they have
we're
managed
seeing
to
a
kill
lot
him
of
times.
we're seeing a lot of work from Tusk in this game, and I was worried that he was going to struggle, but Mira, even into all of the kind of spells he has to worry about, is like he's made some really cool plays. And with Kunkka being as farm as he is now with a full BKB and the Luna closing in on her Manta, which about 200, 300 gold away, should get it off the Ancient stack here. It's going to be another great timing for Spirit.
You know he's invested. He has the burning item, so
Haste.
Oh yeah.
he's a Tusk player.
Oh, doesn't get the roll timed well, and they pull him right back. Stampede, not going to connect either. I'm surprised he didn't roll earlier. I mean, I guess it's just a gamble, but
I mean, the thing is, like, once you're X'd, you might mess up the torrent timing, but you will be pulled back. Like, Kunkka can just react to it, just pull you back sooner if it's going to, like, totally miss. So, it is a bit tough. Miposhka, 6-1-7 on this Enchantress. I wonder what he's going to get next. Just go full core, Miposhka. Just do it.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
yeah,
Underlord's not bringing that much damage.
a 4K lead now for Spirit, and I have to wonder, like, if Entity is going to be able to find some momentum, because they are starting to kind of lack some damage from what we're seeing, right? It's taken them a little bit too long for this, like, Earth Spirit to bring down these heroes. It only has still level 1 Magnetize, which is a big problem. Fishman, though, gonna get caught out here from Mira once again. The Inkswell to try and get him away. Has the Static Storm, the Kinetic Field, but they just don't even want to fight. They don't want to risk it. They'll just leave. And another kill going the way of Spirit.
Magnetize is a lot of damage early, but I mean, Underlord's tanky. Underlord's getting a... Is it a pipe? Yeah, pipe first, has Greaves queued up. There's like Snowball dodge. There's the heal from the Enchantress, boat buff, stuff like that. Like, Magnetize is going to drop off in terms of damage. And that's where you're going to have damage issues, because Watson's been having a rough game. He's like kind of getting up there, but I feel like he won't have the damage to actually kill these heroes for quite a while.
Man, Entity just missed both of the wards from Spirit. And they're smoking across the mid lane here. Laurel trying to find an opening as well as Yatoro. They do have their high ground at least, making it a little bit difficult to invade. They will get their own D ward. So that's fantastic for Spirit here. All right, BKB on the Earth Spirit.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
How close are we on?
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I mean, Laurel about almost halfway to his Aghanim Scepter. Yatoro on his way to a BKB. They're going to hit a really strong timing, and Entity is going to seriously run out of damage. At this point, you're probably looking for Watson to probably be like this end-all be-all carry. Collapse. Yeah, just never mind, he's out. They don't manage to punish him there. Great little pit of malice. Tier 1 for tier 2 tower instead.
Dire's top tower is under
Might
attack.
just keep going into Roche now. Have a minute. I think they can do it before it moves. Got Enchantress to tank, tag team damage. Will Entity be prepared? I mean, they have some decent pit fighting abilities, but I don't think they realize this is happening, or they've just chosen to trade for the mid tower.
Yeah, I think they're going to ignore it. They probably know that it's happening. They did scan that top side, so Collapse can just bring the whole team in with a Fiend's Gate, and that is something you have to consider. So that's why he's positioned here in the mid lane. The scan's going to, again, show that they're in the Roche pit. TP coming through from Kunkka. The jump in, nice stun. Laurel's gonna get sent back, but again, Collapse. He doesn't get the Fiend's Gate off, and now stuck inside the Static Store. In the middle, chain stun him down for the moment, but Watson's just getting pelted by Maposhka. They lose the Morphling. The Hurricane Pike damage is just... It wasn't even Hurricane Pike. It was just a Sproink. Oh my goodness, 2 heroes dead. Now looking for more. Katomi on the run with the Soulbind. It's going to be enough to keep him alive.
He's also got the Grove Bow, so I mean, he's been blessed. This is his game.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
He legitimately took 1,600 damage from only Maposhka on the Morphling.
Yeah, we're going to see it. It was looking good. He could not get the Fiend's Gate off, like he pointed out, which would have brought the rest of his team in here as they finish Roche right now. So they all have to TP in, but the Enchantress came in a little earlier while letting Tusk and Luna finish off, so she was here, and because she teleported so far back, she just got to throw in all those impetuses. Impeti? I don't know.
I don't know. Impetuses. Impetus.
Quicker than I look.
Maybe it is its own plural. Stolen Wisdom Rune from Noon. Kind of nice, because they were going to lose their own.
I like the way the Wisdom Rune looks in the bottle.
It does look really cool. Oh, very close to the Tusk there, nearly finding the Disruptor. I mean, this is where the game starts to get really difficult for Entity, because You have a serious damage problem. Like you're yeah, DM on the
Radiant's
Centaur.
top tower
It's
is under
tanky.
attack.
Can kind of do some damage with like the blink, hoof stomp, and the
Radiant
double edge.
are
You have some
scanning.
return damage from the blade mail, but nothing super reliable outside of Morphling.
Radiant's top tower is
With all the
under attack.
BKBs now out on Spirit,
Radiant's
right?
top
Like
tower has fallen.
you're just gonna just block all the damage from the Earth Spirit.
Yeah, it's Can you reflect damage? You got blade mail on Centaur. I don't think that's it. I don't think it's enough. Where's Watson at? He's working on Phylactery. I mean, when he finishes the Conda, that will be a good
Dire's
chunk of
bottom
damage,
tower is
but
under
that is
attack.
like 5 minutes away, maybe, if he, if he gets killed one more time in another
A gift
fight,
from
stuff
the
like that.
tempest of battle.
It's gonna take a while.
Oh yeah. Alright. They will take the last outer tower here for
Dire's
Team
bottom
Spirit. So
tower has fallen.
all 3 lanes now exposed. They could go for the Tormentor as well, and it looks like they're positioning to go for this. Bottom lane, or top lane, just off the roll, off the mark with the roll. DM, however, Inkswell, Collapse will just drop the pin of Malice. He says, I dare you, buddy. Mira will get his shard for free.
Their sauce. Are you okay?
Tusk Shard, pretty good.
These wretched fools have no idea.
Maybe Firestorm Shard would have been really fun. Good? I don't know, but it could have been fun.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
This mid-tier 1 tower is still alive, and they have no ability to take it. They're going to push bottom now, Yatoro up onto the high ground. I mean, maybe you get some cool roll in and kick back, but instead Tusk just goes in aggressively onto Fishman. Now, underneath the tower himself, silenced up the Torrent, maybe buying a little bit of space, but DM catches the stomp onto the Luna. She's got the first life taken down. Great bit of Malice here from Collapse. That will force them back. DM, BKB gonna be forced, as they will just disengage. Okay, I mean, you get Aegis, you manage to get a Tusk as well. Not a bad hold from Entity.
All right, sometimes you're playing too well and it gets to you. I think Mira was feeling it too much. He was a pretty deep blink on the Tusk to punch a Disruptor, and it's pretty hard to get away from a Disruptor once you dive that far. I think they just sit behind Yatoro here and just watch him hit this. Like, he's already got the tower down to half, right? So you just sit behind him with the blink snowball save, and you'll force the Static Storm out, at which point Luna will just BKB, walk away, and then you just repeat if you want. Like, you can also just wait for the BKB up. I think you just do that, and it's super safe with the Kunkka and Underlord behind you. So yeah, maybe just feeling like too strong after the last couple fights. They got brought back down. I bet the next high ground push will look a lot safer.
Come through the portal to the bottom side of the map. They did see this ward get placed on the high ground. They should be able to take care of that immediately. That being said, Katomi, they're going to go for the jump, and they will. He wants the D-ward, but he's not even going to get it. So quick. Well, they did get the shard for the Underlord. I was like, I didn't see him buy it, but yeah, he gets it from their own Tormentor, so.
Interesting.
Good Firestorm shard this game. Fishman in a rough spot, scouted out by the Luna. Dust is there as well to help out, and a quick kill for the Luna.
I mean, Firestorm's really good this game. We were talking about one of the buffs to Underlord was that the 15 talent changed. He's opted for all the Firestorm talents, and it's pretty good because it's Centaur and Earth Spirit, 2 very tanky heroes, plus a Morphling who then shifts over to Strength throughout a fight. So Firestorm's going to be doing an insane amount of
Dire's
damage in
middle
long
tower
fights.
is under attack.
All right, guys, round 2, pushed in mid tier 3. Tusk, much more defensive position this time.
Yeah, he's not gonna risk it. we'll see what they want to do here. Inkswell jump in to stop the fall. They're going to try and blow up the Luna, but he gets the snowball, but he's still going to fall. Now the Stampede coming out as well. Morphling stunned up, but he's got a lot of damage still to go. Great Static Storm out from Fishman. Will trap in Collapse. 3 dead as they're continuing to hunt DM. Lincoln 1. Miposhka will dodge it out. Great TP. But that is how you hold the high ground. It's so scary into these initiations with the Inkswell. Did they get the snowball save, or did he just die 100 to 0?
It was a snowball save, but he activated it again instantly.
Oh no. Yeah, I mean, maybe he got the BKB and thought he like wanted to fight. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that might have been a call from Yatoro. I don't know, but either way, they were really quick on that jump. They nuked like everything so that Luna was so low before the snowball could even come out.
And they also pick up a gem here. Wait, no one. There's a ward right there. Okay. I was like, bruh, get it. Well, just like that, the net worth lead basically cut in half. They were sitting, I mean, more than half. My goodness, they were sitting 8,000 ahead, now down to 2K. As the matchup only gets worse from here for the Luna, right? Morphling is absolutely the stronger of the 2 heroes in the late game. We've seen this matchup over and over again, and it's not even close. So if Watson manages to start pulling further and further ahead, I have to worry for Yatoro.
Yeah, magnetize. So we were saying magnetized damage drops off as the BKBs come out, which is true. But now that the BKBs are being used up and you're finishing a couple more items on Earth Spirit, as well as the talent at level 15 for more 30% more magnetized damage and duration, now it becomes easier to get through the BKBs and then like reapply for like the full damage when the BKBs end. That are all then like amped up by your items. So the damage is starting to come back between this Earth Spirit and the Morphling finally getting some items.
It was a relatively fast Roche spawn. It's going to be up here in about 10 seconds. They are smoked up in a good position if they can kill it fast enough, which they have the damage, but they are moving further and further away from the pit. I don't know if they're going to make it in time. Roche is up. They've got 50 seconds to kill it before it heads to the other side of the map. And it looks like they should be... I mean, they should be able to do this, right? Tag team
Entities,
and Luna, the snowball to get him closer.
I think so. Entity was walking towards the Twin Gate. They might be thinking about it, but it's really scary to go through that Twin Gate into Underlord Kunkka.
Oh, yeah.
Snowball can even... Or not Snowball. Ice Shards can also block you off. Looks like they're thinking about it, though.
Yeah, they're gonna commit.
Or maybe they're just
They know
hoping. They might. Yeah, they're hoping to get lucky that Roche is not currently up and it's going to spawn in the daytime. But yeah, turns out Roche spawned and was killed off pretty quickly. If it had been a long Roche spawn, like a 2-minute plus spawn, they would have been in killer position because they're also really good around the Twin Gate. Like you just static storm it, you got the Soulbind, magnetize, everything going. So. Yeah, that's a bit of RNG there going Team Spirit's way.
So we saw them with an Aegis last time. It died really fast, right? They have so much burst potential to bring back the Luna. So it's still possible that Entity take the fight on their own terms, but it looks like they might just wait for Spirit to try and attempt the high ground once again. Doesn't really feel like they're under any pressures. They also have an amplified damage room bottled up here for Watson. So if a fight happens to break out, this guy is going to be hitting incredibly hard. Oh, no one.
Yeah, I mean, you just high ground poke with that Conda, and then if Spirit ever oversteps, you have the Glimpse play. So I do think their high ground's pretty decent on Entity. With that in mind, 2 towers are pretty low, the mid and the bottom tier 3. So the usual high ground siege that you kind of like wait for an opportunity on, that might not be there. Just like 2 seconds of Luna hitting and suddenly you got glaives bouncing everywhere. That makes it really tough.
Yeah.
Looks like they're trying to finish Conda on Yatoro before they push in.
Kind of necessary, right? Once you have your 20 talent, you really do need this ability, or you really do need this item. It just synergizes so well with your hero. There's the amplify damage, gonna finally pop. And that's gonna be go time for Entity. They want to try and find something. Tusk here. Not gonna be an easy, well, no one has the roll distance talent. He can search for what feels like forever.
Yeah, the trees are gonna save him there.
Oh, finds a ward. All right, Mira's out.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Trying to think if there's like any other items that you need on Spirit. For the Kunkka, he's finished up BKB and Aghanim Scepter,
Dire's
looking
bottom tower
for
is
a
under
Scythe of
attack.
Ice next, which you're gonna need lockdown for sure to try and kill this Morphling. He's just not gonna be super easy to find, I think, is the issue, and he is not that far away from his Ayaskati.
Yeah, that's gonna be a great item.
Link? Oh, what a pike! Okay, Katomi, not really where he wants to be. He's going to be forced to TP out. That was very sick from the Enchantress.
Gotcha.
Quickly checking with the courier. What if he was still here, guys? What if he's waiting to die? Soulbind, spell damage talent taken. What do they got to work with there? I guess Adaptive Strike doing some extra damage, pretty scary. Maybe some amplified double edge damage. They don't have the greatest Soulbind synergy this game.
Yeah, it's still probably worth it in most cases. Like, that extra burst is pretty big, even if it's just the Morphling, right? Throwing in the
Radiant
Adaptive
are
Strike.
scanning.
Ooh, Katomi. Narrowly dodging out this gank. He
I
does
guess
not have a
Inkswell
blink.
speed. Gonna be okay for now? Ooh, a second blink out. Run!
TP in 1, he should be fine. Okay.
Gets a deep ward down for his troubles too. Team Spirit playing this really safe. They ended up not really doing anything with this Aegis. So I guess they want to go real late.
I don't know if I like that decision, but at the same time, it's also Entity making good movements and just not allowing Spirit to take a big fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have this Grimstroke who's just on the bottom side of the map, placing aggressive vision, farming. Like, you have, you know, Fishman kind of farming deep in his own jungle. They're like clearing waves that get close to their tower. Maybe Spirit should be trying to like push the objective more onto the high ground, but we saw what happened last time. You know, it's like they try to go for the high ground and then your Luna just gets bursted 100-0. You don't have a save in Mira yet without his BKB.
Yeah, I wonder if that's it. They're just waiting for some of these items, but I think it is a bit different. Like, the fact that the tower is almost dead this time, there's much less of a window for you to be burst, especially if you just send in, like, the illusions. But, I mean, they also had, like, the X-Mark plays, which last time they didn't set up either. We haven't even been talking about it this time.
They see collapse. That's a great kill. If they can bring him down, he's got a lot of tankiness, but the Morphling, my goodness. They dropped the Static Storm just for safe measure. He's going to pop the cheese. I think it was cheese. I'm not really even sure. Collapse
Yeah,
now.
cheese.
He's out. DM with the Stampede, with the BKB. They finally finish him off. The Disruptor popped to the backside by Mira Watson. Gonna turn around with his own BKB. There's that Soulbind onto the Luna. She's got it. I mean, she's got the Soulbind. It's going to finally tether on over to the Kunkka, but Watson's able to get away. No one still has the Magnetize. He could go back in, but you've got to get your Morphling out. Is he going to make it in time? He does not. Here comes Noah, and the Magnetize going with the Shiva. Is going to start burning down Laurel. Unka should fall. Can no one carry this fight? DM gets a big stomp onto the front side. Yatoro collapse, able to keep this one going, is now trying to finish off this Disruptor, and they will. A massive win here for Spirit.
Top tower is under attack.
The Hex from Kunkka paying off right away. He just finished that. Used it to kill off that Morphling. Suddenly he's got like 1,000 gold for his Bloodstone on the way. Great pickup from him to help provide that lockdown to get the Morphling we were talking about. Like they will need a little bit more catch. I wonder, man, like I can't believe that worked out though, because like they did find the Underlord, and I guess it just took too long. He is a pretty tanky hero, and the boat buff just buys him so much time. He ends up like full health. Yeah, there you see the Hex allows him to be chain stunned and then just killed up. From there, you don't have the damage anymore.
I'm surprised no one waited so long to go in, because they popped the BKBs, and at that point you can get the Magnetize rolling, right? You can get the damage started. So I was a little bit surprised he waited until like after the BKBs were off to kind of go back in and maybe like turn the fight. It's a lot of damage that comes out from the Earth Spirit, but maybe Watson doesn't die if they're like threatened too much by the Earth Spirit. It's hard to say, right? It's a close fight, but Team Spirit played it pretty much as perfect as they could have. The buyback from Collapse paid off big time. As Yatoro hits level 25, gets his Lunar Blessing talent. He'll get another shard, this one for Laurel, so Tidal Wave now online. It's a quick Roche too. Again, sub 60 seconds.
Disruptor, he's got his Ags queued up, but he has not been making much progress in it. That would be a really good item for them. They're going to smoke and go check, and ooh, wait, they might just miss it. They check with a Torrent, and they're going to start walking away, but Roche spawns right now. Whoever wins this fight is going to get Roche.
There it is. Smoke's going to pop. DMCs gets the stomp out immediately onto Laurel. Can they follow it up? The BKBs, the Static Storm's there, but Luna just standing her ground. Your Morphling's not here yet. Maybe he can enter the fight soon, trying to bring down the Poshka on this Enchantress. No one's going on the backside, gets the BKB, the Magnetize, gonna start just taking the damage, but DM's back, baby. Gets the stomp, takes down Kunkka. Mira's gonna be next. Poshka trying to get away up on the high ground. They've got the Ink Spell to chain stun him. 3 dead for Spirit without buybacks. Triple kill for Watson's Morph. DM, what a buyback.
Scouts the Roche too, so this time the luck going towards Entity. The fact that Team Spirit just missed that Roshan made them decide, like, okay, let's go make a play then while we wait, and now they're actually going to lose the Roche. If they had just waited and seen it, I think they just take it without contest, or they're in a much better position for this fight.
Man, that's the threat of, like, Dire side Roche. When you're Dire, right, you take that engagement, you kill the Centaur, he buys back, he teleports behind you, man. It's like you're already so worried about what's in front of you, and then there's just a Centaur coming in with a Blink Stomp catching two. That is devastating. Aegis now for the Morphling. Cheese onto the Centaur. And the free Aghanim Scepter goes the way of Grimstroke. So Dark Portrait for your Luna. That's terrifying. That's really scary.
Yeah, Disruptor picked it up first. I thought he was going to get it, but copying the Luna is really good. And if you get the Soulbind to, say, the Underlord, you get to copy that aura as well, which is really sick for your team. That's a 30% damage reduction to the enemies, along with getting, like, Pipe aura, Greaves aura for yourself. So, yeah, cool shift to give it over to the Grimstroke here.
This is the first gold lead of the game. It is. This is their actually first gold lead of the game. 5,000 now for the side of Entity as Morphling. It's level 24. You now have level 25 Earth Spirit. So earlier I was saying he was a little bit too patient with Magnetize. No longer needs to be. Undispellable Magnetize, buys a refresher, and gets Timeless Relic. No one can legitimately solo Team Spirit. Like, the amount of damage this Earth Spirit's going to start doing is terrifying.
With an amplified damage as well.
Yeah, this is going to crush. If you get caught from this guy, Pops the amplify damage, and Toro's gonna go in. He ends up rolling the wrong way. Watson trying to hold his ground for now, but DM doing some work. There's the Eclipse. The Stampede gets him to safety, and in goes no one. Here you go, baby. The amplify damage. This Magnetize doing some work. Glimpse pulls him back. He pops the refresher, trying to get his second BKB. He doesn't get it off in time. He dies. He gets a little too lost in the sauce. It seems his team just abandons him. Dead without buyback.
Watson used Waveform to get up to the high ground, which they then instantly jumped him. Yeah, you see in the replay. Instantly jump him, Ice Shard traps. You'd love to leave right now, except he can't. So the whole team is forced to come in to help. He does survive, so he doesn't actually lose the Aegis, but kind of leads. No, I guess no one could have left here at this point too, but the whole team's getting a little like overexcited about the high ground. I think if they go a little slower about it, it would be safer for both sides, because I think now for Entity, they don't have like the nice X mark plays, but just looking for maybe Luna or Underlord to step up, and you can get a Grimstroke illusion copy of that. If you force the fight, it's much harder to get that.
He definitely could have just refreshed into a second BKB and roll out. Like, he could have lived, but the other thing too is I think he misclicked onto his mini-map on his initiation. He wanted to roll in onto the Luna and instead accidentally rolled towards mid lane or something, so definitely unfortunate, as I don't think that was his initial plan, but caused some problems there. So pendulum swings right back into Team Spirit as they are the ones controlling the map. With Earth Spirit coming back, though, I imagine we'll see Entity try to get active, right?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
You might wait for his refresher.
It's a big pickup for the Grimstroke. Now has the Scythe of Ice, so you have Blink into Sight, or Soulbind Scythe, or Dark Portrait Scythe, whatever you want. This guy's got some reach.
True. Ags on Disruptor is pretty close too if he wants to buy it out. And I can't believe we're only past the early game now.
We're almost halfway through this game.
What else we got coming up? Laurel working on Refresher. That'll be pretty good for him. Toro's trying to get a Scotty to replace his Power Treads. He has the money if he wants to buy out, but it's pretty scary to do that at this point. I think all the core has got to start saving buyback.
Looking at Maposhka, he's got BKB, queuing up into MKB. He's like, yep, I'm gonna just right click. I'm gonna do damage eventually.
Tower is under attack.
Where's their
Radiant's bottom
gem?
tower
It is on the
has fallen.
Grimstroke, so he doesn't actually see this ward quite yet. He will scout it now. So that is the last piece of vision you have outside your base. 20 seconds on the Aegis. It's about to expire. Entity, I don't think they're going high ground here. Being said, collapse. Okay. Walking out the Trickster's Cloak. He'll be fine. So, next Roshan, right? 3 minutes. I'm just kidding.
No, I think you're right, though. Like, I think they'll actually wait. Maybe wait for a good rune or a good pickoff. The high ground is still scary, though. Like, you're pushing into an Underlord and a Kunkka. Is Tusk working on Ags, by the way? Yeah, he is. He's about 700 gold away. So, like, both sides are pretty scared to push high ground.
Anytime this Luna uses her Manta, it just gets cloned by the Grimstroke. And you eventually got to be careful of using that. Fishman here, scouting Maposhka, will find him. He knows he's here somewhere. The question is, can you stop his BKB TP? No, you cannot. On the bottom side of the map, though, they are looking for Mira. He's going to go for a BKB TP, and he's out. Okay. So, a couple BKBs now on cooldown. It's just the supports, though. I don't think we're going to see much really come of that.
They might poke a bit because the BKB
the Luna
save.
gets caught mid. She's gonna turn around, but just gets chain stunned to oblivion. She's gonna be able to buy back if she needs Laurel. Trying to escape, but in comes no one. The Magnetize is rolling, but can you get out? He's just gonna keep this, ticking him through. he just gets the Kunkka. He just dies trying to survive, but can't do it. Refresher's available for him if he wants to go. Wants it.
I don't know if they've noticed, but Tusk has Ags.
They
gotta be
probably
very
have
careful
not
with the
noticed.
kickback.
All right, no one's gonna pop the refresher. A second set of spells is available. Inkswell here for the Morphling. He's gonna just waveform away. They've seen what happens when you fight on the high ground. They do not want to risk it. They will give Team Spirit the respect and back away. Just look at the burst potential here. And just the perfect layered chain starts, right? Stomp into Adaptive Strike into Inkswell.
Really well done by Entity. That is a Luna buyback, so they can find her again. I mean, we just saw that they can kill her once.
Man, I didn't even realize who would win a 4,200 gold Aghanim Scepter or Enchant. It just takes the Dark Portrait. What is that?
I didn't
That's
realize
ridiculous.
that worked. I thought you were magic
It's supposed to
immune.
be magic immune. I don't know how that. I mean, it pierces. It's not supposed to pierce debuff immunity either. I don't know how that works.
Oh, wait, one's
That
coming
I'm
mid lane.
sure is not intended, but yeah, it is debuff immune and 95% magic resistance. It's definitely not supposed to work that way.
Roche is up. Oh, wait. I don't know if you noticed. It was at the very end of Kinetic Field. No one's TPing. They must have noticed. All right. This Ags. Where does this one go? Disruptor hasn't bought his yet, so you could give it... Wait, do they not know? Guys, no, just do Roche. Guys, don't
That
do
being
it.
said,
Turn around.
they're gonna go heads up. No one gonna break the smoke. The immediate blink back from Mira, as no one will roll to safety. Very tense. Collapse is not nearby. He has got some items coming out of Yule's, trying to get towards his own Wind Waker. But another smoke. Laurel's gonna walk potentially right into an immediate ward sentry drop. They're gonna see Maposhka. Laurel though. Katomi goes in. Soulbind onto 2. But they can't chase. They will get the BKB out of the Kunkka and they will disengage as Enchantress takes the Luna. Yeah, it takes Dark Portrait. There's no way that's supposed to be intended. But the kickback, they've got DME. Immediately BKB is gonna have to pop the Stampede as well, but a nice X might pull him back, and it does. Inkswell's out, in comes no one, gets a huge magnetize onto 3, but in comes Watson. It's her turn. He's gonna turn it into the Luna. Walrus Punch throwing him into the air. It's 1v1. Which Luna is stronger? The Hex comes out as well. The damage from the Earth Spirit is just way too much. He's gonna be able to just continue to pull these guys back and forth. Watson finally getting his hands back onto Yatoro. Another stomp out from TN. That's going to be a dieback, and Watson surviving through it all. Spirit might finally be down for the count as no one will try and find Maposhka here. The glimpse will bring him right back. Another stomp from the Centaur. That will be 4
so
heroes.
close.
Another bullseye on my
That's a wild fight. That starts with the kickback of the Centaur. So it was looking good for Spirit, but the Luna copy from the Morphling and then the shards is just doing so much damage. Yeah, you see me? He's just jumping into 3 heroes with the shards bouncing around him. Maposhka tries to lay in the damage, but Watson is like so resistant to damage at this point.
Radiant's top tower is
Dude, it's so hard to keep track of where these heroes are with like Earth Spirit disappearing off the map,
Yeah.
with Morphling disappearing off the map, with Snowball making other heroes disappear.
Radiant's
You're like,
top tower is under attack.
did this hero die or did they just like, are they in an invulnerable state? It's hard to follow.
Radiant's courier
But
has been killed.
Yeah,
with
and
that
off of
one,
that,
it's a 21,000 gold lead.
They're gonna
I
go
think that
straight
might
for
be
the
game.
win.
You can, right? There's no
Oh,
buybacks.
is she close to buyback? No, it's on cooldown from earlier,
Yeah.
right? All right, tidal wave into the fountain. Tusk is almost up in 5 seconds. You do have to respect the tidal wave kick. So it looks like they kind of maybe they didn't agree with that. They're like, yeah, let's just get megas, guys.
Play it safe.
It does
They
mean
agreed.
Spirit gets maybe one more fight. Cube that Divine Rapier again.
Radiant's bottom
I don't know, man. They've got all their spells back up. Ag's Disruptor's online.
has fallen. The Dire now have mega creeps. Dire's bottom
They're gonna
tower
back,
is under
deal with
attack.
lanes. They could find this amplified damage rune maybe in the next 30 seconds. That's a huge pickup, but otherwise, maybe they're just gonna go get Roche. Oh, they recognize the Roshan's banner. With that, the game is secure.
Oh, of course. That's what they were waiting for, is Roshan's banner.
Man, this kill feed is literally just Watson. Watson and buildings in the kill feed.
That's not surprising. This is what we knew was going to happen, right? With the late game Morphling matchup. It's such a more favored game that, yeah, you know, you can stand as long as you can. You can stand as long as you want on the Luna, but Morphling will always win.
Roshan has fallen.
Choosing to do Roche may be giving enough time for Luna to have buyback. And we're talking some theories for Spirit to come back into this if we see a crazy buyback or like a crazy comeback. But I think it starts with some Tusk kicks. It's one of those spells, it's always very scary. And if you get kicks like too close to the fountain, either Entity has to just sacrifice that hero and back off, which then buys you time to drag this out, or you all have to run in, which is also very scary.
All right, there's the banner. Dropped in the mid lane. Entity now have Giga Creeps.
2,222 health. It's a very good number.
Bottom
Plus
lane,
69
Mira,
damage.
no longer existing, but actually gets the snowball for a moment. The kickback does find no one, but he's just going to go ahead and drop the Magnetize. Great. I mean, just serious good ult here from the Grimstroke, just holding them back with this Soulbind. Earth Spirit does have the Refresher available. Will be able to pop it. Holding his spells here. But there's not much left on the side of Spirit. They popped their BKBs. They popped that boat. You gotta be very careful. Watson gonna go back in. Actually takes a huge amount of damage with the EKB right away. A great stomp from DM again, and the Magnetize continues to roll. Watson just gonna lay into Yatoro. He cannot escape. Trapped by the kinetic field, and the GG will come out. Entity remains undefeated here in Elite League.
Stolen Glaives doing so much in the late game. Kick onto no one, but Earthspear is probably one of the worst heroes you could kick back just because he just leaves. He just leaves after popping BK. Entity pretty happy with that one. Some excited pop-offs, and then back to business, guys. So what could we have done better in that game? What do we do here?
I mean, this was such... Game one was a very similar, right? It felt like Team Spirit was in the lead, and then Entity take a couple good fights and then hold the game. They never, like, make a big mistake.
Yeah, it looks like Spirit did build, I think it was like 7k lead. Yeah, looking at the graphs, about a 7k lead. I'm trying to remember what the turning point was. Oh, yeah, I remember. It was the high ground. I think they slipped up a little bit here on Spirit. The high ground walk up, and then they siege 2 different lanes as well. So they take off like 3/4 of the bottom tower, then they go push the mid tower, restart the siege, and that's where the Luna just gets like killed off real quick. They all jump Luna, delete her. I feel like that gave Entity the time, because Morphling was struggling a bit. I say struggling, he wasn't like that far behind in net worth, but he just didn't have the damage needed. But that slip up gave enough time for him to finish the Conda, work on like the next couple items, and no one was also getting like the levels, getting the refresher, stuff like that. So his damage was ramping back up as well. So that here in the late game, well, yeah, we saw what happened, right? When you get these fights. It was really close though. It did come a little bit down to some of the initiation, some good buybacks from DM especially, like initiating, getting killed, eating up so much damage with his like build. He's so tanky, just immediately buys back, comes back into the fight, helps Entity secure. I feel like they won every single late game fight, actually.
They did. Yeah, I also feel the same way. I don't think they lost any late game fights. And it is easier for them to execute, I think, in the late game. Also, big shout out to DM's buybacks. Like, every buyback he had this game resulted in a massive turnaround in a fight, right? The first one actually getting the stomp onto both Tusk and Kunkka to help them secure the Aegis, and then again in the later fight, he just... Yeah, he just knows what like when to pop the buyback, and always had a good angle to reinitiate.
Started off well for Spirit. Maposhka was getting so much done. Had all the troll creeps he needed, thrown out so many impetus shots.
I mean, when he
The
solo
Earth
killed
Spirit.
the Morphling.
Yeah. And the Earth Spirit. So what did you think? Because from the lane, started off fine. Got some early rotations. Definitely had that drop-off period, but came back later. I guess that's partly the nature of the hero. Is this something you think we'll see other teams start to imitate?
I don't know if we'll see people imitate it, but we will likely still see it getting banned against Entity because it is a hero that they clearly like to play around, and no one farmed ridiculously well. Like, there was multiple times in this game where he was, like, early on, like you said, kind of struggled, but he was basically top net worth from, let me see if I can find it, I mean, he passed Luna at some point, but yeah, he was like neck and neck at the top of the boards for like the last 30 minutes of this game, which is really scary. And then his level 25 timing, you don't like to play for level 25s because it's kind of a meme, but I guess with how Dota is right now and it mostly running late game, I could understand wanting to go for this Earth Spirit because his level 25 talent is one of the best in the game.
I mean, if you think about it, it kind of covers both, right? Where we've been saying like games end early or games end late. And that middle period is a little lacking right now, which Earth Spirit as a mid hero, pretty good early, pretty good late. And so maybe you do just sidestep that weak middle ground. I mean, it's of course just like one game we're seeing here. But yeah, maybe something to the philosophy of the game if Entity is also of that mindset where it's like, yeah, feels like you win or you don't until much later, which we got the late end this all day, actually. I feel like a lot of these series... Oh, no, the second game from the first Azure Ray versus G2IG, that one was pretty quick, but all the rest were just about 60 minutes today.
Yeah, these were marathons for sure. But yeah, I mean, super well played from Entity. They're kind of winning me over as a fan. I mean, I've always liked this team, but with how they played the Swiss stage and their kind of unique drafts and their unique play style, like, this is a team that is not kind of like, they're not meta slaves, right? Like, they're actually doing stuff that they believe in and that they think is good, and it's performing. Like, they look really good right now. So yeah, big props to this team. I'm gonna be excited to talk to them though, because we should have an interview lined up this time. So we're gonna go to a short break, everyone, and we'll be back with Entity for an interview. Stay tuned. We'll see you in a sec. Hey everybody, as promised, we've got an interview with Entity, and this time, happy to say we are going to be joined by No One. No One, congratulations on another amazing series. You guys are looking super hot, man.
Thank you.
So,
Hello.
I got some questions for you. We'll talk about, you know, these games in a moment. Obviously, coming off the Swiss stage, you guys were the #1 seed. You win all your games, don't drop a single game. You come into this group stage still undefeated. You guys are the only team in Elite League that has yet to drop a single game. How are you guys feeling about that?
I mean, of course, feeling pretty good, but we played only 2 games, right? And there's 5 more coming. So, and there is like Falcons right now, and like Spirit was a super tough opponent anyway. yeah, we won. We're super happy, but mega tired because schedule is fucked a bit. We're playing at 12 p.m. So yeah.
Yeah. So about this series here against Spirit, both games kind of had a similar flow where Spirit had a pretty early advantage, but you guys took like a couple big fights and spun this game around completely. Were you guys confident the whole time, or how do you guys keep your composure, going into such late game scenarios?
And first game, I believe that they had lead only because we had a huge mistake on mid lane. It was my call that like I wasn't thinking that Disruptor will be like on mid. We were talking about the games that maybe like we were talking that they will not be, and at this point, but in the end he was, and it was like kind of dictates whole game for us. And there was a first relocate of Mercy. And that's why they had a lead. But I believe that we had a pretty decent draft, and they have really strong, like hard timing to fight us anyway. And they were like dodging us in the end, and yeah, and in the end they just like take some crazy fight at the tier 2 at bottom, and we had like 0k net worth lead, both of us, and the game was ours, I believe. Yeah, and the second game, cool. I don't know, I think the draft, like with our laying stage, that Grimstroke is fine, and we have more Thinker Spirit against their heroes. We're mega happy. Like, and they picked Underlord. It does nothing, I guess. I don't know at all in the game. Like overall, like against Morph, against Ear Spirit, like I don't know, against Grim. I think that was a problem for them for sure. This draft. Yeah. So yeah, we were pretty confident that we'll just. I mean, like my level 25 refresher, they're done. I can just solo 1v5 them in the fight. Honestly.
That's funny. I said the exact same series of words when you picked it up.
Yeah.
Zach, what do you got?
Yeah. So going back to game one, I know it's like 2 hours ago at this point. You guys ended up picking that Dragonite versus Sniper, which we thought was pretty cool, but we didn't fully understand that matchup. Do you have any insight on that? Because Sniper is usually pretty good versus melee heroes. Does Dragonite just have too much armor that he doesn't care about that matchup?
Yeah, I mean, Sniper is almost full fizz damage, and DK is one of the best armored heroes in the game, so yeah. It just like, I would say like Sniper is unbeatable on lane, like honestly. Like, this hero is just stupid 1v1. But yeah. He's imbalanced in a way, like he beats every mid lane in the game, honestly. Like, so we just picked like a guy. We needed the stun first of all for the relocate, and this I can stay. I'm sure that I'm gonna have like a free time against Sniper, no problems whatsoever.
Gotcha, and I mean that's the way that lane seemed to play. Going into game 2, then in your lane, Kunkka got first blood, I believe. We've been seeing a lot of lanes get very.
It's so fucking classic for our team. I'm like 50% of the games on official I stayed against first blood guy. I mean, like I don't know why it's happening, but it's funny.
Well, it seems like you're adapting to it well then, because we've seen a lot of games just get really skewed by that first blood. Does it change the way you have to approach?
No, I got used to it in the VP pick days. Solo was doing the same, like no joke. Like 50 games, 50% of games I'm not at the TI or majors, but usual games where like I'm playing against first blood, so it's casual thing for me, I guess. Yeah.
I see. So that's been your secret training. Every lane you start behind, and that's how you've learned to play that way. I love it.
Kinda.
Oh, that's amazing.
Zach,
you got one else?
One more. So Earth Spirit, not too many people picking that. Karaomi doing like the Monkey King strat. It seems like you guys have some unique picks. Is that something like you as a team all enjoy, just different heroes, so you want to make it work, or do you guys intentionally look for like something a little out of the meta to surprise opponents with?
I think it's both. Like it's always both. Like I'm having a great time with playing Earth Spirit. It's good against. It's just good sometimes with our heroes. Like for example, Grimstroke and Earth Spirit is pretty good. Like and it's just like it's just good in the game. And I know I can carry the games too on this hero right now because late game is very strong on him, like compared to back then. But it's both. Answering your question. Hello?
Got it. Thank you. Thanks. Sorry, slight delay in the call. Ricky, you got anything?
No, I think that's about it. I have to say, you guys have become one of the most fun teams to watch in the tournament so far with like kind of your unique drafts, your unique takes on the meta. So I just want to say best of luck going forward. And yeah, is there anything that you'd like to say before we let you go?
I think no, I'm tired and I need to sleep.
All right, man. We'll get a good night rest. Thanks for joining us, No One. Again, congratulations on another great day. Hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, bye. Thank you, bye, guys.
So another successful day for Entity as they move to the top of their group now at 4-0. Obviously, there are teams that have played up to 6 games already, but yeah, Entity, solid start. Like he said, though, they're not overconfident. They've still got some big teams to play against. Primarily, of course, that team Falcons. You know, you got Azure. Like, there's a lot of teams that you got to play against still.
Yeah, and it sounds like they're not letting it get to their head either. Even though they're undefeated, he's saying like, yeah, you know, we haven't played that much. We got to continue to prove if we can remain undefeated, which I think is great. We also heard from them earlier. They're like all excited to be like working together, improving. And it just seems like the mentality on Entity right now is in a great spot. We got the standings today for Group A and then Group B on the other stream. Hopefully you guys are all checking all these games out. There's a lot going on, and we got like 4 more days of it too.
Yeah, dude, Aurora's freaking speed running right now. 8 games done in the first 2 days.
Yeah, they played the most.
They're like, yeah, we'll just front load all of this. We don't care. I mean, they're sitting at 5-3, so a pretty good performance. I think they've drawn all 3, so they haven't been 2-0'd yet, which is quite good. They got the 2-0 earlier up against, I think, Blacklist, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Blacklist, Bet Boom, Team Spirit, OG at the bottom right now. They're going to need some wins to try and bounce back into this, but yeah, China's looking strong, man. G2IG, Azure, and Extreme all sitting pretty comfortable.
Yeah, maybe the Eastern European team's struggling a little bit right now. Right now, we're only day 2 in, so if they start winning a whole bunch, like we could still see like a big switch from Team Spirit, like being able to make its way back towards the top. But I'm not exactly sure what needs to shift, because from the games we just cast, and then I've watched some of their games earlier while we're waiting, doesn't seem like they're not at their usual form where they're like super dominant, the TI winners that won them so many fans and people are looking for. Doesn't seem like they're terrible either, right? They're not like in a horrible spot, but something is just not quite connecting, that they are like having a decent laning stage but not really pulling it through into like closing it out. We saw a couple, maybe like some high grounds that could have gone better. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe the like early playmaking. I'm not fully sure. But yeah, right now, at least they're going to have to work on shifting some stuff around if they want to start climbing back up these standings.
Yeah. Still lots of Dota to be played. Like you said, 4 more days of groups happening, as tomorrow we'll be back here, same place, same time on the Elite League. Before we call it, I just want to say thank you all so much for tuning in. Ooh, make sure to go ahead and follow all the different streams. Of course, you're here on the main stream, ESB_Dota2_EN, but there is a B stream as well as a YouTube stream. Check them out on Twitter to stay up to date, as they're looking for feedback. If you guys are liking this tournament, if you're liking the format, some of the changes, give them feedback. That's what they want. ESB said they want to run more tournaments, so let's let them do it. You know, that's what we need, right? So a little bit of diversity in the tournament pool. So big shout out to ESB and Fisher for putting this whole tournament together. It has been such a blast so far. The Dota has been great. There's still so much more to be done, but for tonight, we're going to call it an end. My name's Critic. I've been here with Z Quixotics. We want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, have a wonderful night. We'll see you next time.